Go, 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 go! Off and moving here. And Taylor has made the first cut, very closely followed by Digger. I'm basically seeing a very fast start from Digger and Hillboys, but there's a lot to play for still, and a lot of time to go.
Look at this, we've got a loader on its side.
He may have to reset this if he can't write it. GTR is lining things up. The guys can get this in, they are going to be in prime position. So look at that, a bit of teamwork there. GTR just reversing ever so slightly to help Hillboys get those into the truck. That's a genius strategy.
They actually have a good amount of trees there ready to load. I'll tell you what, this is unbelievably close. And he's honking. I think he is on his way out. But we're just getting the console team coming in now to slow the container. Farmer Hamish is on his way in. He's running straight down the train tracks. No care at all for his well-being.
Is audio up? There we go. That's what I want to do. Press my mic button. How are we? Welcome, welcome. Round 2. We are here. We are good to go. Hey, Args, how's it going? Let me just jump over to here. Hope everybody is pumped and ready for what I hope will be a super exciting bit of logging fun.
If anything to go by from the first round, it certainly is. It's going to be good fun. Good times.
It will be, yeah, and I'm going to just quickly jump to my in-game screen to show the viewers the rather cool changes we've made. So we've got a countdown timer now, and we've also got these rather large letters highlighting what the courses are called and stuff. So again, big shout out to Hamish for doing his thing. Much appreciated.
So, funny story, I was just telling everyone and showing those in my intro and realised I was on my full face cam and no one saw what I was talking about, so there we go.
There we go. There we go.
Best laid plans.
Args, do you want to run through tonight's agenda?
I can do if I can remember what it is. So a little bit different tonight. We've got 3 team matches and 3 solos. So last time we had the 2 and 4. But we've had a few more teams sign up. We've had a few more solos sign up. So you're going to see more variety of players, more variety of teams than we had last time, which is awesome to see. Awesome to have some new teams in here. And we're going to start off, I think we've got two 3v3 matches up first, and then we'll jump into a solo match before we change servers and get back into one more 3v3 and 2 more solos. So looking forward to having that. Do you want to welcome our first team in today?
I do indeed, yes. Our first team, I'm just going to jump to the 3v3 teams. Our first teams, and I pressed the wrong button, our first teams are both stalwarts of the FSL, so FarmSim League. So Astragon Entertainment, as we know from last time, who did a double header in the last, in round 1. And they are up against their arch nemesis, Power Team Esports, led by Valo and the team there. So that's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, they're new to it. Astragon have been here before, and they've had a go at it already. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm not sure how this one's going to go, to be honest.
No, I'm not quite sure either. Obviously, Astragon have said and come out in Discord and said, they didn't quite know what they were doing last time. It was a new concept to them, but they've had obviously had 2 matches under their belt and they're now had a bit of chance to practice, so they might be a little bit better versed. Whereas Power Team Esports, like you say, great to welcome another FarmSim League team into the fray, and it'll be interesting to see how they go. And we are down here on stage number 2, down by field 2, and that is where we're going to start off with these guys today.
That's true. So let me just arrive over here, and I will jump to main screen, and we will go from there.
Indeed. Now, I apologise if I cough. I've got a little bit of a hoarse throat today.
So, how do you think this one's going to go, Args? I know
like
some of the
teams
have. I know some of the teams have actually gone away and built replicas of some of these courses in the month since round 1. So I'm not sure if Astragon have done that, but it's gonna change things a little bit. I think we're going to see lower times this time round. Things happening.
I think so. I think there'll be certainly some more pace with it, and like you say, there has been some of the teams have been away practicing, and no doubt they'll know in their heads what times they're now capable of compared to round 1. But it'll be, it's just going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Keen to get this first match underway. Now,
Absolutely.
A few more improvements. You can see we've got the bales there. So all the courses do have bales for the players to start off with. So that's to try and set a starting point. Farmer Hamish has got things all ready. So I think we are all ready to go when starters' orders get underway. But look at Astragon down there, all wearing their blue tops. They've got the team kit all set up and nice and professional looking.
Incredibly professional, yeah. Very cool.
It is. So I guess we're in Hamish's orders, ready to go when he is.
We are indeed, and of course now you see they've got the timer in the top left-hand corner as well, so you can keep an eye on the time and how fast the guys are moving through the course as well. So
that's right. Yep. So we're under starters' orders. Be ready to go in just 1 second. Keep an eye on that timer. Keep an eye out for the guys all jumping and ready to get going and racing to their machines. Of course, it's a run, and there we go. They are off and going. So we're seeing Calamaris and Baumatzi heading over to the processors. So they're obviously keeping the same combinations they had last time. We haven't actually talked about the gear, FSG.
We have an interesting take, actually. Calamaris with the high lift there. And Epapatu with the front grab. And again, Valo has gone with the... I think there's a slightly bigger cutter head, isn't there, on that... what would you call it?
Yes. Yeah, the Rodney one. I was actually looking at that pre-logging in a match, so that can cut up to, I think, an 80-centimetre log, whereas the Komatsu Baumatsu zone, I think, is limited to 71.
That's right.
Slightly more horsepower in the Rodney. I think it's about 50 horsepower more, but speed isn't a difference, so it is just purely down to cutter head size and horsepower. It's the main difference. But I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, we saw Calamaris last time around using that grapple to great effect, getting lots of logs loaded up. El Papito, I think he did a great job pronouncing that. It'd be interesting to see how he goes there with that front grab.
It will indeed. Now, for those people who are maybe watching that haven't been available or watched Logging League before, it's not just a timed race, this as well. They have to cut accurately the logs down because there is a penalty if they do not fill their containers with 6-metre logs. So, as we saw in the first round, it can change things right at the last minute.
It certainly can. Obviously, there's a few matches actually would have decided on value rather than speed. So it'll be interesting to see whether we get that same again. Now I'm just looking. Major Malin has had no issues getting his container loaded up this time. None of the problems from last time, and he is racing in. And Oblix here, not far behind, and they are certainly not wasting any time getting driven here into the arena.
So this is interesting, Args. Valo, I've just watched him cut his first tree, and he threw away the top of the tree, which is obviously less than 6 meters. So either they've been watching videos of the last round, or they've been having some insider information shared with them, because that's starting to be a trend that we're seeing quite a lot, isn't it? Through all the competitors, they're aware that will have an impact on their score potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Calamaris has already got some logs. We've got 1 layer of logs already in the container over here for Astragon. I think if you remember back to round 1, these guys probably spent the first 5 minutes battling with their container, and that really hampered them. So you can already see big advantage to them here on this.
El Papito has just put the first set of logs into the container as well for the Power Esports guys. So we are running pretty neck and neck here, I think.
All right, it's good to see. Now, Baumatzi's getting a little bit little bit tangled up with some of his logs. He's actually got one sitting on the very front wheels of the processing unit, which hasn't helped in creating a nice big stack there for Calamaris to pick up, but he's going to race around with the grab there and try and get these tidied up and picked up. Obviously, there's no point having downtime waiting for them to be stacked neatly. You might as well just get them into the back of the container as quickly as you can.
Interestingly, we've got Obelix as well, who's the truck driver for the Power Esports team, who is sorting logs as well and making sure that some of the smaller logs are not being put into the container as well. So some great teamwork going on here.
And that's quite clever. We saw that a little bit last time with people picking up the smaller logs, which you can do. Obviously, no super strength, nothing like that. This is console and PC, so it's multi-platform compatible. Anyone can join. But the lighter logs can be picked up and carried and moved out of the way. So that's actually a good use of time for the truck driver there, just making sure there's absolutely nothing. And just watching Baumatzi's just done exactly the same with the processing unit. He's flung that log out of the way, so it's not going to be in Calamaris' way.
So here's an interesting thing, Args. Neither of the teams have extended. Now, we saw this last time. I think it was Kegarino's team did it, didn't they? They extended the low loader so that the container sits right at the back of the truck. I think Bargon did it as well, didn't he?
But Bargon did it for the Bargon backup there in the Chaos course. But yeah, no, you're quite right. And I wonder whether that's just as part of how they have to load the container onto the truck at the start, whether they're sort of just focusing on that and getting it in there. But what are we? I'm just looking here, Astragon there, about 3/4 full. And Baumatzi's just dropped a rather large tree on top of Calamaris, but he's getting that out of the way. And they're not too far away from having a full container here. And I'm just looking up at the timer. We're under 5 minutes of game time so far. This has been pretty fast.
That's crazy. Yeah, we're about, I would say, about half full here on the Power Esports side. They've got a lot of logs on the ground, but maybe not filling as quickly as the Astragon guys. And I can see the Astragon container in the corner there. Yeah, they're a little bit behind at the moment, but making a good fist of it. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't been watching over that side, FSG, but just the choice of trees they're taking, they're actually being very particular about taking the bigger trees where they can. I think they took a couple of the smaller older pines, but mainly going for the fir trees, which yield more logs out of them. You can cut 4 or 5 logs at one time out of a tree rather than just 2 or 3, so it certainly makes it easier, particularly with this big grapple, to load as many logs in as once.
I was going to say, I wonder if that high lift kind of comes into its own. Even with the best skill in the world, this front grab is just not capable of carrying as much stuff, is it, in one go?
No, it's not. And just watching Calamaris stand next to or maneuver next to the container and being able to use the articulation of the loader there to twist in and get the logs into the back of the container. I think they're only a couple of logs away from being full over here on the Astragon side.
I have to say, there's some great teamwork going on between Obelix and El Papato over here. They're doing a brilliant job. He's reversing up as El Papato's getting the grab into place. It's nice to see. It's very impressive.
So Baumatzi's just cut down one big tree. We're getting 4 logs into Calamaris' grapple. He's picked that up. Major Melon's reversing over because they've moved to the other side of the arena here. He's backing up. Calamaris has got the logs. They're quite a tight little area to maneuver. So I'm pretty confident this might be the last load they need to get their container full.
Interestingly, over here the Power Esports guys have really filled their container now. They are not a million miles behind. If they can get a quick load in now, I think we're going to be closer than we were looking maybe a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, right. Well, there we go. Calamaris has got the logs in. He's out of the loader. He's getting the doors closed, I think. Container doors. Grappling with straps, but there we are. Astragon's doors are closed, and they are on their way out of the arena. No. Ramp's still down on the back of the trailer, so no, there we go. Major Melon has picked that up and sorted that. So they're on their way down to the sell point.
And I think we've got quite a large load of logs here that may be going to finish off this container. This will either make this a very close run, or they're going to have to grab another load, and the Astragon guys are going to get a fairly healthy lead here. Now I'm going to stay down here with the Power Esports guys, Args. I'll let you follow. Yeah,
sounds good. All right, well, Major Melon is out and he is onto the road.
If you haven't already, you may want to watch on Lazy Goat as well. You get both views then. You get Argsy and my stream together on one page. The link is in the top of my chat, so that gives you both views at the same time if you feel like watching that.
Yep, likewise, and my chat is pinned in the messages there, so go and watch that. Both angles, you'll be able to see the truck heading down and how far ahead they are. 8 minutes. This is going to be an under 10-minute run, I reckon, by the time they've got down there.
That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. And the guys, the Power Esports guys, are so close. They are, I think, probably one log away from being full. Having some problems with the grab, just not easy to maneuver into place. I do think, yep, they are full, they are closing up, and they are on their way.
That's great. Well, Major Melon has just gone around the corner by the roller coaster. He is heading down the road, negotiating his way around a couple of cars, but he is well on his way down to the sell point.
Oh, Obelix has just got a little bit snagged up on some of the fencing there, but he's made his way out pretty effectively. And they are on their way as well. I've got to say, any other competition, they would have been right up there. I have to say, I think Astragon's experience from the first round has maybe put them in good stead in this one, but Obelix is on the road now, and he is heading on towards you, Args.
Yeah, great. Well, Major Melon's just crossing the bridge here by the river. We're just going to pan around and see a couple more of our sponsors' signs there. If I don't go behind the billboard, we've got G-Portal there and Thrustmaster, obviously both our main sponsors for the Logging League, and we are heading down to the sell point. Not far away now from getting driven in there.
I'm in the town just waiting for Obelix to arrive. He's not far away now.
I'm a little bit behind Major Melon, but he is just about to drive through into the sell point, and there is the container gone. So under 10 minutes, 9 minutes 43, looking up there at the timer. That is an astronomically fast run, and
that is
a huge improvement from what we saw from the Astragon guys in round one. What an impressive effort.
Obelix is on his way up. I'm going to see if I can tab to the next vehicle. No, I'm going to just bounce through all of these. I want to show off our new sponsor signs as well. Should see him just coming around the corner now. Yes, here he comes.
I see it as one of the limitations with how we're producing this is we can't really just jump around fast, and we don't have super speed without having easy dev. So it does take a little bit of time to jump between areas as we're trying to follow the guys along.
There's Obelix covering the bridge there, and there you go. There's G-Portal and Thrustmaster at the side of the road. Our two key sponsors, thank you to both of them for their support. It's been fantastic. And Args, over to you.
Indeed. Yes, I can see the truck just appearing now, coming down into the entrance. They have taken the second to last entry there in between the log piles. Obelix is driving in now. No speed lost, he's just motored through there, honking his horn, and sold. And that is 10:57 on the time. So
that's a phenomenal
only just
time,
over a minute
right?
behind. Oh,
yeah.
Look, they would have. They probably would have won a lot of matches last week with that time. But right. I think just the experience that Astragon have bought and their learnings from round one has just come through there. And but hey, it's not far away, and I think Power Team Esports should be proud of their efforts. They've really pushed the guys along there. So
absolutely,
we'll keep an eye out. We'll get the official ruling soon from Farmer Hamish, because as we don't know if there was any penalties there for pricing. But
that's
what a
right.
great
And
first round.
Just again, for people who haven't watched before, for every help me out, Ox.
every minute's $1,000.
Every $1,000 is a minute penalty. Yes,
that's right.
And that worked quite well last time, didn't it? And it gave us some very close, very close scores. So I believe the scores are good to go.
Are they?
That is fast.
I'll be impressed.
Oh no, they're not. I beg your pardon.
No, your reading is ready when you are messaged from the start of the match.
So, coming up next, while we wait for the scores to just be ratified, we are going to go straight into another 3v3 match. We are going to be Pick a Pallet, who you will remember from round one, and they're going to be playing the Logmeisters. So, we will head over to that course just now, and we'll give you the heads up when the scores are in.
That's right. Logmaster's obviously a new team joining us. They actually signed up on the day of round one after watching, I hope. Well, I'm assuming it was after watching, but good to have them here. And Pick a Pallet was certainly one of the form teams in round one and have been with us for a lot of the pre-league trials and demos. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys go against each other. You know what I'm looking forward to the most now, though, FSG, after seeing that performance from both Astragon and Power Team Esports, is them facing off against a couple of the more, what would say, established teams. We're still very young here in the logging league, but to see how they go against some of those teams that have had a little bit more experience, it's going to make it interesting in some of the latter rounds and to see where the ladder ends up.
It is indeed. It is indeed. So, yes, while we wait for those scores to come in, this is the course that we will be using next time, stage 1, so a slightly different course up on the hill here. And you'll notice there are no trucks here. They are going to come down from the sawmill and arrive. So the drivers have got something to do while they're waiting for the trucks to arrive. They'll be cutting the trees down. But it looks like we've got time now to jump over and have a look at the 3v3 scores, Args.
Yes, I see that's come through. So we're just having a look there. We've got 9 minutes 42 seconds for Astragon, and they made just short of $21,000 there. Power Team Esports obviously came in second. 13 minutes. They've actually had some time penalties added, plus $2,139 less. So they obviously picked up some smaller logs, or were just rushing to try and get the container full there at the end. Right. So it'll be interesting just to have a replay and have a look back at that at some stage and just see where those profit penalties came in.
That's right. But 9:42 is an insane time. Let's be honest. I think that's right up there. That is the new record for that course. I think it'll be interesting to see if that's ever going to get beaten over the next few rounds. That's very impressive.
And it might be something. Yeah, it might be something we have to keep an eye on as time goes along, as to see what sort of times we're making on those courses.
That's right. Okay, so back to game. We are just getting.
Yes, we're just going to wait for these teams to log in, I think.
That's right.
For the next one. I'm just going to jump over and have a look at the team list so we can see who are here in match number 2. So as FSG said earlier, Pick a Pallet versus a Logmeisters. We've got Akiki, Samu, Teru, and Muex as their 4th player there for Pick a Pallet. And in the Logmeisters, Tobias. And Tobias obviously will be familiar to anyone who watched round 1. He is in the solo competitions as well. And I think he actually snuck away with a win in the first match,
he pulled off a
didn't he?
Brilliant win in the first match. Yes, he did. So one to watch there, definitely.
It was. He was a little bit of a sleeping giant in that one. We weren't kind of focusing on him. The bargain backup was grabbing our attention, but he snuck out and went and won that. Schiffelmeister and Faban are his teammates there for the Logmeisters.
We're just waiting for a few of the team members just to log into the server, and we will be good to go.
So takeaways from that first match, FSG, what do you think was the main difference between the two teams?
I think that experience from the first round has definitely helped the Astragon guys. They knew the lay of the land, they knew what they needed to do, so I think it was just a case of they've gone away and honed their skills over the last couple of weeks, and definitely showed tonight, didn't it?
It did. I think, if we reflect on round 1, they had a couple of little issues as well, which with the container in the first match, and then obviously Baumatzi had a little disconnect there halfway through the second, which wouldn't have helped. But yeah, I'm just super impressed with their coordination and their speed today. But look, Power Team Esports, I think they're going to be a challenging team.
You can't take anything away from them
through the round.
No.
Oh, not for a first appearance. For a first appearance, that time would have won most matches.
That was phenomenal. That really was. And watching. Obviously, you were watching the Astragon guys a lot. I was watching Power Team Esports. They did nothing wrong. I think it's just a case of maybe a little bit more experience, just winning the day over there.
And I wonder if equipment selection, how much of a difference that had with the loading.
Yes, very, very true. That high grab is definitely, I think, personally, I don't have any evidence to prove it, but that high grab is definitely the optimal tool, I think, for loading, especially when the containers aren't right at the back of the low loader.
It's still good to see, though, that teams are using different equipment and trying out different combinations to come with that sweet spot.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. So,
for anyone new to the logging league, the only thing that's banned from a handling point of view is the big bag handlers.
Yes, that makes it a little bit too easy, doesn't it?
It does with the straps.
It does. So, interestingly, Args, I'm going to just jump back to my in-game. Looking at the kit for this stage, who am I looking at? The Logmeisters, who are the red team, have got the Volvo excavator with the smaller grab again, and pick a pallet have gone for the high loader. So it's going to be interesting again. We've got different kit, so it's going to be interesting to see how things go. The harvesters are the same, but different loading equipment.
Yeah, it will be interesting. The one thing I think we took away from this match last time on this course is making sure they drag the logs down onto the flatter area. Particularly with that high lift, it doesn't work if you're leaving the logs halfway up the hill.
That's right.
It is very difficult to maneuver into position and pick them up, whereas the Volvo excavator with that grapple might work a little bit better on the side of the hills.
That's right. That's right. RPG in my chat, will there be any solo matches today? We have 3 coming up, RPG. In fact, first one is straight after this round of 3v3s.
Yep, and Sparky, just on your comment there about adding another line for the runtime and then the penalty, I think that's a good idea. We're obviously always looking to improve things, so we'll take that on board. Maybe not today, we've got things all pretty set up for this, but we'll certainly look at that. But just wanted to, while we're just talking about that, big shout out with the timer there. Mark Haythornthwaite has put in a lot of work for Farmer Hamish to help him out with getting that timer set up. And there's actually a whole lot more information behind that timer that you guys can't see at the moment, with basically a button that Farmer Hamish can press start and stop on. It automatically, he can put in the profit, and it automatically calculates the time penalties. So pretty smart little bit of software that Mark's helped right there, and made Farmer Hamish's job a whole lot quicker, and hopefully make things run a whole lot smoother. And just we're only 25 minutes in FSG, we're already ready to start the
second match. Yeah, no, definitely. It's I think the kind of aim for this has always been to incremental improvements every time we do one of these. So you'll start to see little things as we go through the months and develop things. But definitely the timer and the work that Mark's done has been fantastic. And again, a shout out to Hamish. The background work he's done to get this ready is phenomenal. So hats off to him as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I think we're just about ready. I can see there's 4 loggers standing up here on the bales. Now, of course, we only have 4 of them here because the other 2 will be down at the trucks. Now, where do you want to spectate from, FSG? Do you want to go and watch the trucks, or do you want to hang out here?
What I'll do, I'll head up and just see if there's any action happening with the trucks quickly as we start, and then we'll head down and join you over there.
Excellent. Well, we've got the ready from Farmer Hamish there in the in-game chat, so we're basically with starters orders, and we'll be underway in just a few minutes.
So,
or seconds even.
Or seconds. Taru and Schiffelmeister are our truck drivers who are going to be starting up here. They're going to grab these trucks and race at pace down to the logging area. So we shall just wait for Hamish to get things underway.
Got you. Excuse me, we've got everyone down here just about in high vis. Kiki's just rocking the t-shirt, but otherwise we are being very safe and very mindful of the work hazards on a live forestry site.
Health and safety first. Like to see it.
Indeed.
There's a slight delay here. I wonder if there's a few things going on in the background. We shall.
All right, there we are. Starters orders.
We've got the green light. Yes, let's go. And you'll know when the game has started because the clock will start in the top left-hand corner there.
That will, and we'll see all the teams start running to their equipment. Get that race, and here we are. We're off. And away. Samu's a little bit confused. He's running around in circles trying to figure out where he's going. I hope that's not a disconnect or anything.
In terms of leaving the arena, Taru has just got an ever so slightly big head start. They've both avoided those awkward crossings, though. And that is because they've got to go and pick up their containers, of course.
There we are. So I'm just looking up here. Faban has got a tree cut down. Akiki has got a tree cut down. So they are both very close there. Samu was running around in circles. I was actually a little bit worried he disconnected, but I think he just wasn't in too much of a hurry to get to his loader. He was trying to stay out of Akiki's way and let him get in there and start cutting down some trees.
We are level pegging up here, Args, Schiffelmeister and Taru are just about to pick up their containers. It is neck and neck. Well, Schiffelmeister's Tarud clipped his and has knocked it forward. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. But Schiffelmeister's taken a bit of a lead now.
So Samu is in the high lift down here. He's been very clever. He's used the little pushers on the very front of the loader to get the pile of logs stacked up a little bit neater. So when he's coming to grab it, he has grabbed all 5 logs with absolutely no issues. And he's getting these well out of the way. He's putting them in a position where when the truck gets here, he can load them straight up. Kiki's got the second of their trees down. Faban and Tobias on the other side, they were very quick to get their first tree cut down, but just seem to be struggling to get the second one down here.
Up here, Schiffelmeister is away. He has got his container attached to his low loader, and Taru is still putting theirs onto the container. Now, it's interesting, isn't it, Args? Because it isn't that much of an issue right at the start. If you arrive a little bit later with the container, it's not the end of the world, is it? Because you can make that time up with the speed of loading.
That's right. Now, I'm a little bit concerned. I think Faban has got a bit of an issue with the head here on his processing unit getting a little bit twisted and out of sync with the equipment. So I'm just hoping he can get that sorted out. Might have to jump out of it and back in. All right, we've got a pause there from Farmer Hamish.
Yeah, pause the game. I think there's
We're just looking here
with Taru's container.
Ah, okay. Faban seemed to have an issue here as well with the header on his processing unit getting all out of whack.
Interesting. Let's just see what's happened here. We'll wait for some news from Farmer Hamish, who is, as always, brilliantly all over everything.
He is. It is a, I mean, anyone who's played on a multiplayer server does know that these things can happen. We get little synchronization issues with equipment or things like that which need a reset or a reboot. So we'll just wait and see where we end up here with this. But everyone up here at the logging area has paused and is getting things sorted out. Farmer Hamish has jumped into the processor and is trying to sort out what the issue here is with the header.
And we've got Taru waiting still here in the sawmill.
So I'm not a mechanic or anything like that or an engineer, but something tells me that the way that bracket's positioned isn't how it should be set up.
Just going to jump down.
I'm quite sure how that works.
Oh yeah, that's broken.
Do we have penalties here for the teams for wrecking our equipment, FSG?
Damaging our equipment. Yeah.
I wonder if it's folded. Can it be folded?
Might need to be reset back to the shop, mightn't it?
Possibly.
Ah, we were doing so well sticking to schedule as well.
Tobias is saying he should have stuck with the Volvo, not the Komatsu equipment. Well, we're not going to go and bag on any manufacturers, but it does seem to be a little bit of an issue there with that one. And Farmer Hamish has reset that. So we're just going to be on a little bit of a pause here as that gets brought back up here and we can reset and restart.
Better for it to happen now than right at the end of the game, I guess, when there is enough time for this not to have a huge impact on the result, which is great.
Yeah, correct. With the trucks obviously not being there and being a wee way away, there is a chance to capture up and get all the logs cut down and stacked here, ready to go. So I think Faban and Tobias still have plenty of opportunity to catch up with the other guys there.
That's right. Now the only challenge here is, again, because we're trying to be multiplayer, multi-platform, there is no quick way of getting that cutter back up to the field other than Hamish driving it. So we will be down just for a couple of minutes while we sort that out.
That's right.
Peter Clark suggesting a minus 100 points for damaging equipment.
Always been. Just while we're doing this little intermission here, FSG, just going to talk a little bit about our principal sponsor, Thrustmaster.
Absolutely.
The T16000M joysticks. I've got 2, I know you've got 2, and they make operating equipment, particularly in logging and something like an excavator or anything like that with lots of different inputs. They just make it so much easier to do. So worth checking out. There's links in the description of the videos if you want to go and have a look at where you can buy those. And yeah, hopefully we're working on getting some to give away in the future, so keep an eye out for the opportunities there. Not today,
Yes.
but in some of the future rounds, we hope to have some of those, not just as prizes for our competitors, but also for you in chat. So.
Yeah, we may be doing some spot giveaways, and also to G Portal as well, Args, for providing the servers as well, and some server credits as well, which we will be able to give away in future rounds as well. So big shout out to Dave and the guys at G Portal for supporting us there as well.
Yep, 100%. Great to have those guys all on board and with us. So once we get back underway here on this match, once Farmer Hamish has made his way back up here with the equipment, I can just see him driving up here. And look at that. He's an intelligent man. He's put it on the back of a low loader and driven it up here with a truck. So he's done this once or twice already, trying to get everything set up, and knew the quickest way to relocate the equipment there was on the back of a truck. So fair play to him. Well done. But once we've finished up here on this match, we'll be moving into our first solo round.
That's right. That's right. Yes. So like I said, this shouldn't, other than a couple of minutes pause while we reset, I think we're in a pretty good position. We're only 2 minutes and 21 seconds into the game. Both the trucks are on their way down to us, so
okay.
I think we're in a good position to get things started. We'll just... Baban's just going to check and make sure that that cutter is unlocked and is working. It looks to be working as intended now, so I think we're not far away from starting up again.
I hope so. There we go. He almost needs to go and cut a tree down outside the boundary and just make sure it is going to work.
Yep, well, I'm sure we can allow him to do
that. Came outside the arena and just test one of these trees over here.
It's going to be interesting to see if this little stop has thrown anybody off their rhythm, because, you know, with this stuff, sometimes you can just get your head down and get into a bit of a zone, and I wonder if this little interruption may have slowed things slightly. We shall see.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I'm just looking here again, FSG, and this header is not where it's meant to be. It's flicked itself completely upside down this time. So I don't know whether it's going to be a terminal issue and may require a server reboot and reset. In which case we'd have to restart from 0 on the timer there.
True. How's our other one? I'm just going to go down and have a look at our other header and see an issue with this Komatsu, or... For some reason...
Tobias has taken this out and outside the arena. He's going to throw it away. I think he's just parked it in the bushes and he said, to heck with it. We don't want it anymore. We'll do it with the chainsaws.
I'm going to go with the chainsaw,
yeah.
Yeah, checking the Kiki's here. It's looking fine, so something strange going on there. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe Farmer Hamish may have gone to purchase a new one and just completely reset the equipment.
Tobias, hashtag team of Volvo. So bear with us a couple of minutes, folks, while we just get this sorted. That's been well and truly abandoned in the bushes.
Yeah, man.
We should leave that there now for future rounds. Just as a reminder of when
a reminder
when logging goes bad.
Indeed, I like that idea. By the time we get to round 6, we might have equipment all over the place.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. So I'm wondering if, obviously, Hamish, as the referee for the competition, may have given them a little bit of a dispensation to select a different machine.
I can confirm that he has FSG. We've got a Volvo excavator on the back of the truck down here, and Farmer Hamish is just putting that in position and heading on up. So, well, he doesn't have a nice wide low loader, but I'm sure he'll figure this out and get it up there. But we do have a Volvo processing unit on its way up onto the course.
Very good. Tobias has now said, I'm never using anything except for Volvo ever again. I think he might be slightly rattled by this. I wonder if it'll have an impact on on his game. We shall see. So
I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm sure he'll be fine too.
Now, I know in a past life, Farmer Hamish actually used to drive trucks and low loaders, so we're seeing some inventive and creative loading. I don't know if he would have ever put an excavator across a trailer like this, but what's the saying? If it fits, it ships.
Exactly. Exactly.
So he's got that loaded on, strapped down, and he is heading up the track on the way to the course here with this Volvo excavator.
So Gers has dropped into the chat. I'm new to this logging stream. What is the mission? So Gers, we have a number of different courses. In this instance, we have 2 3v3 teams. So there's 2 trucks being brought down from the sawmill. We have somebody cutting trees and we have somebody loading trees. And it's the team who can load a logging container the fastest and get it shipped back and delivered to the sawmill is the winner. You can get penalties if you don't fill it fully or you use the wrong size logs. So it can lead to some very close games.
Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. Cut down trees, fill a container, and get it sold. Quickest and best profit wins.
That's right. Now, hopefully, again, when I said before about incremental improvements, one of the things we'd like to do is little preview videos of each of the courses and how they work for future rounds. So stay tuned for that.
Indeed, indeed. So here we come. Hamish is just driving in now with the revised excavator, the new processing unit. So hopefully things are all going to go fine here and we'll be back underway in just a few minutes. Now, Corpnut was just saying he used to load like that all the time. He used to park excavators across the low loader. So there we go. Nothing dodgy at all about what Farmer Hamish has done there.
That's insider knowledge there, right?
It is. All right.
Okay, so Faban is in. He's unfolded the header. It's looking good from here. I think we are good to go.
Moments away from a restart. It'll be interesting to see if he is comfortable using this. It's a different piece of equipment. I wonder if he'd chosen the Komatsu because that's what he liked using.
This is true. Yeah. If you've been practicing that for the last month and you're now in a different machine, that could throw you as well.
Could. All right.
Okay, Faban's just moving into the position he was in before they had issues.
Yep.
I'm just going to jump to the map and we can see the 2 trucks moving as Hamish gives the green light. So we have got Schiffelmeister sitting there holding up a very long line of traffic.
If he's in front, will that impact the driver behind him?
I don't think so, no. No, I think by the time he moves, they'll clear in time.
Okay.
And Taru is just leaving from the sawmill now, so I'm going to...
And we're back underway. So Samu and Tobias are running down here. Faban has got another tree cut down, so that is a good sign that this unit is working for him. And he is pushing those logs out. Akiki is dragging a tree down out of the area and getting that ready for Samu to go and pick up. So we are back underway here.
That is a nice, neat pile there from Samu already getting prepped for the trucks arriving. And they won't be here. Won't be too long before they both arrive. They're far enough apart that they're not going to be having any issues. I think if you remember in round 1, we had trucks arriving at exactly the same time. And these tracks are only wide enough for one vehicle. So very interesting if they arrive at the same time. But I don't think we'll have any issues with that in this round.
That's right. So I think the big difference here in this one, FSG, it's going to come down to the choice of loaders. I think Samu there with the high lift, he's just going to be able to pick up so many more logs and get them put into the back of the truck so much quicker than Tobias. There's advantages with using the grapple in terms of the way it can be twisted around and pushed, but look, I think it's going to be... I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but I think there is certainly an advantage there. Faban's still struggling up here with getting some trees cut down.
And Schiffelmeister has just arrived. There we go. He's getting lined up and organised. I always think it's interesting which side of the course you end up on. That you have to make your way through the other team if you're in the further team. So it can cause issues, but nothing here tonight. Nothing in the way of blockages or anything like that.
That's right. That's right. Now, this could be the one advantage that the logmeisters have here is they are actually here first. So Tobias can actually start getting some logs put into the container before the pick a pallet guys can even start. So it will be interesting to hear to see if they can get enough of a lead to not have too many issues. But I can see the other truck is just driving in there. Taru has just arrived. And look at that stack of logs Samu has just picked up.
Look at that stack of logs from Samu. That is huge. And again, just highlights, I think, the advantage that you can have with that high lift if you get it right.
14 logs. I've just had a count up there. That is a huge amount. But in the background, Tobias has picked up 4 logs with the grapple. So it's not all over. Oh, Taru and Samu are having a little bit of a trouble here. They're out of space and tripping over each other.
Yeah, Taru has got his truck stuck there. There we are. I think they've freed it up. They've got a log stuck under the back of the low loader, and interestingly, their container is moving around quite a lot there. I wonder what's happening with that.
It is. Hopefully it's settled down there.
But this is going to be huge. They have literally 3/4 filled the container with one load. That is absolutely insane.
That is massive. However, Tobias over here, and he showed us in the single player, they are only a log or 2 away from being full. Their container is fuller than the pick a pallet guys.
There we go. I'm just panning around to have a look at that as well. That is insane. The speed that they've loaded these. I mean, the trucks arrived literally a minute ago.
That's right. And Tobias did say Volvo for life. So, and Schiffelmeister's getting into position and manoeuvring that truck to make things as easy as possible here for Tobias. Taru's done the same down there for Samu.
This is an insanely big load as well, though, from Samu. I think they'll fill this. So depending on how quickly Tobias can get those last couple of logs in, they are full.
I'll tell you what, if he can pick up 3 in one go or 2 or 3 in one go, he would just about have this.
They are full. Taru is away. He is away. They are gone. I'm going to follow those guys.
Tell you what.
Args. Let me know how the others are going.
Yeah. Oh, he's just lost a log that probably would have just about filled them up, I think. If I was these guys, I'd be gambling on throwing this log in and running down there and hoping that their values are high enough. And I think, yes, they are closing the doors on the container and they are heading off. So it's not going to be too much between these two.
There
Could come down to $1,000 worth of profit difference.
I'm just watching which way they are going to go. So I'm going to pop out at the bottom here. Yep. Taru is making his way towards me now into the town. He's going around the shop area. And he is foot down.
So I can see both trucks
been hit
right
by
here.
a
He
car.
had a collision!
He's been hit by a car. The traffic has got in the way of things and he has been hit by a car. He is stuck. He is stuck. He's having to do a full loop round here. Oh my goodness, this changes things considerably. I haven't seen Stiffelmeister yet. Has he gone a different way?
He's taken a different route. He is coming out up near the top of the bridge.
Interesting.
He has. He's going to be out in the lead.
I'm going to pan up. This has changed everything.
Oh, this is crazy. He is just coming out. He's jumping the train tracks. He is driving over the train tracks right now and heading along the road. He is ahead. There's literally 500 meters between them.
Oh my goodness, and I'm picking them up just up here past the petrol station. Stiffelmeister is flying. He is absolutely on it here. So again, some good thinking, good planning of route there.
That was an impressive route. I was watching him from very high up and I could see both trucks at once, and he just picked a great route out of there. So this is going to come down to whether one team took a bad log or something like this, because there's not too much between them. But he is taking the very last crossing. He is heading in now. No issues with the train. The barriers are up, and he is going to go through the sell point in just a second. And container is gone. So there we go. Schiffelmeister is up here. They have sold it. The logging meisters. Oh, the train's coming. The barriers are just dropping. This could spell more trouble for Taru.
Oh my
He's going to have to stop for the train.
Oh.
He's going to have to stop for the train.
I would have risked.
I would have risked that.
I would have risked that.
Oh.
Oh, that is defeat from the jaws of victory. They had that in the bag. If it wasn't for that car, that would have been a completely different story.
And the train as well. Look at that. He's through and sold. So we will wait there. 9 minutes, 22 seconds overall. The guys are jumping down here because I think they probably thought with all the issues they had that they were out of that. But right there at the end, the car caused problems. Did it pull out of the intersection, FSG?
It literally, at full tilt, drove into the side of Teru. He was not his fault. It completely ran a red light. Absolutely shocking.
Oh. Obviously, caught too much of the Formula 1 qualifying this morning.
I think so.
Max Verstappen. Look at that. That is... that's showing the unpredictability of the logging league. You can never give up. Don't ever give up because you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And interesting, look at the times again, Args. Look at the time. That's both teams under 10 minutes.
Sub 10 minutes. Yeah. Yep. Here we were when we were planning everything around how long matches would take and trying to put a run sheet together. We were saying, 15 minutes would be a good run.
Yeah.
Start blitzing that.
RPG says, better than NASCAR. There you go.
Yeah, I've had that from Corpnut here in my chat as well. So we'll just wait now for Hamish to come through with the final scores, and we'll go and check those out.
So, interesting round, Args. Unfortunate that little bit of a glitch at the start, but I don't think it had an impact ultimately on the on the end result. It was a really close run thing, wasn't it?
It was, and what interested me the most with that was how quickly Tobias could load with the Volvo. We were giving credit to the high lift and saying you've picked up 14 logs in once, you've 3/4 filled your container, and we jump over and Tobias is sitting there at about the same level, having used the grapple in the Volvo. So shows a good operator.
Yes, it does.
An experienced operator can run just as fast.
It does indeed. It does indeed.
Stephanie's just said, I wonder how many foul words ran at Discord during that crash. I'm not sure what language everyone speaks, but I'm pretty sure there would have been some choice use of language.
We have discussed before opening up the team audio chats, and then we decided that was a bad idea. So
it was a bad idea, yes.
So we're just waiting for confirmation of the scores. Juhis saying traffic should be off. We beg to differ. We think that throws another curveball in there in terms of just an extra challenge and a slightly what would you call it? Just a random factor in that can upset things.
Yep. Everyone's got to deal with it. It could happen to another team another time. The train's there, the traffic's there. It is just what it is. We're trying to keep it as unscripted as possible. And I think that was the beauty when we first did it. You know, we're going to get different rounds every time around how things do it. We don't have any modifiers or anything like that, which can be used to advantage or disadvantage each other.
That's right.
We're working within the realms of what FarmSim provided to us, and traffic's one of them. It's the same for both cars, both teams.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw FSG in Discord. One of the teams had tested running across the train tracks with their truck, just to see a different route, whether they could use the train tracks as a way to get from A to B and using one of the bridges, and they ran into an unfortunate incident with the train.
Oh, really? Yeah, you've got to time that one pretty special, haven't you?
You do.
I do remember in one of the test events, Farmer Hamish ran up the tracks in the sawmill anyway, so he took a chance doing that, but...
He did. All right, I think our scores are ready.
Okay. 3v3 results. Let's have a look.
Well, look at that. We have already adjusted our scores, so we're taking that feedback on. We're having a look there. Pick a Pallet still won because they didn't have any penalty for profits. So, after all of that, excitement around being hamstrung by the equipment, by the crash, they actually still came out on top.
That's phenomenal, right? So it just goes to show you even what you see. If you haven't loaded your container properly, you can suffer. So yeah,
that's right. I'd imagine. I wonder. There's a few deadwood trees up in that area, so I wonder if it's the deadwood.
Possibly.
Rather than undersized logs. So something to bear in mind if you're doing this in the future. Be very selective about what trees you take.
Indeed. But congratulations, Pick a Pallet. That was an excellent victory.
It was in the end. And how many swings and roundabouts did we have in that one? We went from starting out, we had issues there for the Logmeisters with their equipment. They fell behind. Pick a Pallet managed to catch up and overtake them there on the trucks. And we thought they had it in the bag. Logmeisters then managed to make hay while Pick a Pallet was struggling with their driving and having issues with the traffic. And in the end, it came down to a profit.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, it is a bit of a lottery. You just don't know what's happening until those final scores come in, don't you? So, no, it's very good from that perspective. So we are currently getting set up for the first use of our new course, which is
are we on the new one this time?
Super Chaos course for our first round. Now, I'm going to cut back to my full game screen here, and we'll walk you through the course.
So I haven't shown anyone this one yet. This is all new to me. I've hardly had a look at it either, apart from earlier before the stream.
Yeah. So I think the idea behind this, isn't it, Args, that we found that the more natural course, or natural courses, if you remember the one that we did in the test event, everybody who's watching and anybody who saw the first round, the setup courses are great and they work well, but sometimes it's nice to just go, here is a part of the map, just go wild. It's just a pure race. So,
it is. It's even more unscripted than anything else. So we've decided to expand on that. We've picked a different piece of land. Farmer Hamish has gone around. He's explored the map and found this spot and thought, look, this will make a good position to start things out from. So we see the guys there. We've got motocross and BMX. We have Sharp Farmer. And we must just be waiting for our third contestant here to load in.
And if you look, you can go
jumping around, ready to go.
You can go up the hill, but you can also go down the hill as well. So again, it's as much about keeping out of each other's way as it is getting trees into the container as quickly as possible, isn't it?
That's right. When you look at the purchased area of land that's in this spot, it is quite significant, and it does go a long way in both directions. So plenty of options to go and buy. Obviously, the main consideration is how to get logs in and out. And I noticed, just looking at the equipment, we've got 3 different loaders down here. We've got the high lift, we've got a normal Volvo front loader with the grapple, and then we've got the excavator with the grapple. So quite a different selection of equipment coming through from these 3.
Yes, indeed. And the other thing that's worth bearing in mind, I'm going to jump to the map here. We are up here in this part of the map. There are no clear routes out of here. There are a multitude of different choices that you can take to get the logs to the sawmill as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see which routes people take, because the teams haven't seen this course yet either, so they're seeing it for the first time right now. So they haven't had the chance to pre-plan and work out a route. So it's going to make it very interesting. It
is, and that's why it's been called the Super Chaos course, because it could be quite chaotic. And we saw how much of a difference in that last match the transport route can make, because that is what actually gave the Logmeisters the advantage there for a moment. But we'll have to just wait and see. Like you say, there is multiple ways to get back to the sawmill from here.
That's right. That's right. So we are just waiting for confirmation from Hamish. Here we go. We are ready. Stand by, people. First solos round. Round 2 of Logging League about to start.
Yes, motocross and BMX, modern logging, and Sharp Farmer being our 3 competitors here on the Super Chaos course.
It's going to be interesting to see if there's any tactics afoot here. Obviously,
absolutely.
The name suggests modern logging may be a fan of logging, so we shall wait and see. Of course, Sharp Farmer cut his teeth in the first round as well, so he is not a newcomer.
No, not at all. I'm just looking here. We're just waiting for the timer to reset. That'll be a good sign for Farmer Hamish is ready to go. So the 3v3, the 1v1s, V1s definitely dish up a different match type to the 3v3s, because you have to be able to adapt it and be good at everything, basically. You've got to know how to run the cutter, you've got to know how to use the loaders, and you've got to be able to drive a truck. So you're kind of responsible for everything. You can't pin anything on a teammate.
That's right. And one of the things I took away from the first round is they're not that much slower than the teams of 3. The times are,
No, you're quite right.
The times are phenomenally close, aren't they?
We have no one here in this group has been confident to go for the bargain backup either. There's no forwarders there in the selections. So.
That's right. That's right. Right, we're under starters orders. Watch that clock. We are good to go. It's tense.
It is.
And we're off.
The excitement's building. We are. So Sharp Farmer and Modern Logging have both got the same loaders there. Motocross and BMXs down the end here in the Volvo. And they're all racing. It'll be interesting to see who goes where. Sharp Farmer's cutting across in front of a Modern Logging and Motocross and BMX. And he's going for the closest trees he can find. Probably not a bad tactic, actually, because a Motocross and BMX will really struggle with that Volvo to get anywhere very quickly. He's going to have to go and try and find something close. But we've got our first tree cut down there by Sharp Farmer. Modern Logging has also cut down a tree, and these guys are into it.
Yep, it's looking good now. Motocross and BMX has just taken a slightly smaller tree than the other guys here, but he's getting tangled up there a little bit with Sharp Farmer. It's caused no issues, but that's potentially there could have caused a little bit of an issue. Now, interestingly, Modern Logging has pulled his tree down to near the road, as has Modern Logging, beg your pardon, and Sharp Farmer as well. They've both done the same thing, whereas Motocross and BMX has left their tree a little bit higher up the hill. Oh, we're fighting over the same tree here. Sharp Farmer and Motocross and BMX went for the same tree there, but they've backed out. Now, Sharp Farmer's gone downhill. That's interesting. The first person to try the lower part of the course.
And meanwhile, Modern Logging on the end here, he has got quite a stack. I'm going to take a guess that he has the high lift grapple. I don't know exactly who's got what there when we come to loading, but he has quite a stack of logs there that is going to bode very well for him when he comes to loading up.
And Motocross and BMX picking up a new tree there. It will be interesting to make sure that nobody ends up picking up the wrong logs actually when they're loading. They are quite close together.
Yeah. That's right, there will have to be some care around that because they are all on the same farm, so technically they could pick up and take each other's logs, but hopefully there'll be no foul play that we saw happening in round one.
There you go, Sharp Farmer's just discarded his the top of his tree there, which is obviously less than 6 meters as well, so that tactic is starting to become commonplace across all the players really, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I think you need to be mindful, and we've seen 2 or 3 matches, one today and a few last time, where the profit was the difference between the two teams. But
that's right.
Sharp Farmer's playing with a little bit close to the edge here. He's not too bad at the moment, but he's getting some good trees cut down.
That is quite a cliff there if you get that wrong. That's a long drive back up.
It is a long drive back up. I'm just looking there over the end. I hope no one has vertigo.
So Motocross and BMX has got a rather nice pile here. He's working well. Modern Logging stack is looking a little bit more haphazard. But like you say, if he's using the high lift, that will kind of rearrange that pile quite quickly.
It will. It's just great looking around and trees just start falling down all over the place.
Yeah. So this is an interesting challenge with the 1v1v1 is at what point do you know you've got enough logs cut to get your container loaded in one pass? Now, we saw this last time, didn't we, Args, that they can be a tree short and it can really, really mess up your game.
Yeah, it does. It ruins your rhythm. You've got to go and find another tree to cut down. Which one do you take? Where do you go? Then you've got to go and jump in and out of your loader. Of course, tabbing between equipment isn't allowed, so they've got to jump out. And I see Sharp Farmer is out. He is running over, and looks like he's going to go get his truck first. Yeah, taken out by Modern Logging's tree.
So, first mover advantage now. Has he got enough cut? Let's have a look. We've got this one tree here. We've got 2 or 3 trees he cut down here. I would be surprised. He's got the one obviously up at the top as well that he started with as well, which we are looking at just there in the middle of the screen. I don't think he's got enough.
No, he is in the position though. He does have a couple of very tall trees down here where he's been working. So I think that is going to work in his advantage. Now, I wonder if he has one of the front loaders, he could actually pick up that big pile of logs on his way past and take that down, so he doesn't have to run too far around double handling. And he has jumped into the Volvo wheel loader with the grapple on the front. Yep. So there we go.
So I think you're right.
Running now.
That tactic is he's going to grab those on the way down. That's going to be his first load sorted. Modern Logging now moving into position with his truck, although it looks like he's got it beached. He's beached his truck just on the edge of the road there. That may come to cause issues later on. Now, if he's sensible, he may just leave that and use his excavator to nudge it out of the way.
That's right.
We shall see.
The other option is to disconnect and reposition the semi to back in at a slightly different angle and hopefully get it out of the way there. But as I'm getting in the way and getting taken out by Modern Logging, look at this. He's gone and using his Volvo to lift it up and out of the way. Moving
it back onto the road as Sharp Farmer is our first to get some logs into the container, although a couple have fallen off there as well, so not ideal. Not ideal.
So I think I actually called that one of them had the high lift, but we don't have a high lift in here at all. We've got 2 of the grapples.
We do have 2 of the grapples.
Front loaders. Are they slightly different sizes? I'm just trying to see the model numbers here.
I like that motocross and BMX getting rid of the Mahindra and the 3 bales, which were impeding his path there. So that's okay. We'll turn a blind eye to that, damaging the company equipment. But we'll.
That's where the 100 point penalty comes in, doesn't it?
Right, Sharp Farmer's picking up a second load here, a much more substantial load here, and it's sitting better in the grapple as well. So. Let's see how he goes. He does have some logs on the floor in front of him, though, which can cause issues. So, let's see how he goes. He's definitely in the lead in terms of loading up at the moment. With Modern Logging and Motocross and BMX still yet to get a tree into their containers.
I'm just looking in the background there. Motocross and BMX has done a great job. He picked up 3 logs in one go there with the grapple. He's manoeuvring that around pretty well. I'm impressed there with his loading skills.
I am just watching
very
that.
Neatly looking.
Yeah, the way he rotated the head as he rotated the loader. He has gone from very far behind. He's taken the lead now. He's taken the lead ahead of Sharp Farmer.
He has.
But like we said at the start, Args, this is all boils down to, have you cut enough?
Have you cut enough, and then how do you get back to the sawmill?
Yes, that's still the challenge we've got ahead of them, is a long...
I tell you what, I would be driving with the big map up in the corner of my screen, just trying to figure out the best way to navigate from here down to the sawmill.
That's right. Now, poor Modern Logging here is having a little bit of an issue with the Super Chaos Course lettering, which is kind of impeding him picking up his logs a little bit, which is a little bit unfortunate.
And while you were talking about that, Motocross and BMX over here was just about tipping himself over on the truck. He's working in a very, very tight angle between the back of the container and his grapple, and he just dropped a couple of logs while he was doing that. I think he's trying to get the timing right where he can throw and release just as they get there.
Yeah. Modern Logging's found a bit of a rhythm now, I think. Found a good turning circle, and he's starting to load up quite quickly. Now, looking back to Sharp Farmer, I think he's just about out of logs, and oh no, he's got another pile down at the bottom here. He's about to go and collect. So I think he may... It's going to be touch and go whether or not he's got enough to get a full container. We shall see. We shall see.
So you mentioned earlier Modern Logging's haphazard piles. I think that's coming to count against him right now. He's really struggling to get any of these logs picked up in a neat and orderly fashion, which is, with this grapple and loader, is not making things very easy for him.
That's right. Now, interestingly, I think Motocross and BMX may have their excavator stuck on a stump, on a tree stump, which is getting them causing a few issues. Oh, and Modern Logging has a massive load that he's just picked up. Some of them fell out, but really impressive size load. That's going to potentially change things quite considerably. If you can get that into the container, that is a huge load in one go.
Gosh, look at that. That's pretty impressive.
Now, half of the logs are hanging out the other side of the grapple, which is unfortunate. So, yes, as you can see there, he's had a bit of a problem. He's going to have to reset those, but... That's probably the most I've ever seen in one grapple. That was huge amounts.
It was. And as you suspected, Sharp Farmer has had to go cut down another tree. He's not too far away, and he's getting them stacked up nice and neatly for his loader. But I wonder if he's going to go and grab a second one as well. No,
Yeah,
he's just gone for the one.
Yeah, Motocross and BMX has been held up a little bit by getting his excavator stuck on a tree stump. So he's, I think that little bit of an advantage he had has maybe dropped back again. He's struggling a little bit here. Sharp Farmer's definitely taken the lead again.
So it's going to be interesting here to see how that pans out, whether those 4 logs are going to be enough for him to fill his container. Modern Logging is about half full, and I'm just trying to see over the back there to Motocross and BMX.
He's just over half full as well.
Just over half full. Definitely a Sharp Farmer's advantage at the moment, but still, it'll be down to whether there is enough logs, and he's just lost his whole grab of logs there. It's going to hinder him.
I'm going to throw something else into the mix here, Args. What happens if Sharp Farmer can't get that truck up the hill?
That's a very real consideration, isn't it? He's going to have to think about that one.
That is a steep hill.
It is. I'm just panning around to see if he has another route. He can actually go downhill if he heads along up the valley a little bit, and he can go downhill and get back out on one of the roads.
Okay. That might
or he could just full send it over the cliff and hope he lands on his wheels.
It's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
We've just rolled over. We're just about to roll over 11 minutes, so it is not as quick as we've seen previously, because none of the guys are completely full. But that's the joy of the chaos course, right? There's kind of no method to how you can attack this, so
that's right.
You would expect it to take a little bit longer.
I'm going to call it here and say with Sharp Farmer's 2 logs he's just about to pick up, that will fill his container, and he will be off and heading down the hill. So we'll just have to wait and see. Modern Logging's got another good grab there, but again, his logs are getting thinned out. Motocross and BMX has had to go and cut down another tree. He's not far away from being full. One more will do it for him.
He is close, and now actually Modern Logging has picked up a huge load here as well, which could see him very close to the other guys again. So it's tight, although I think Sharp Farmer might have just filled his container. No, he's having to go for another log.
He is. He's so close, I think, that one log. He chose to only pick one up of the 2 that he had in the ground over here. Now, from our perspective, we can probably see the logs a whole lot better than they can. I know there's plenty of times I've been driving around in the forest and can't see the logs for the scrub on the ground, so...
Yeah. Motocross and BMX doing some fantastic loading, though. His skill with that grapple is impressive.
You like to see it.
So Farmer Hamish, who designed this course, has just put in my chat, I designed this to be painful.
I can see that.
I think there's some pretty choice words going on in some of these guys' heads at the moment, because, yeah, they are... Nobody's having an easy run of this, are they?
No, it's certainly leveled things out quite a lot. What's going to interest me, Modern Logging, if he gets his container full before Motocross and BMX, he's going to have to be mindful of where he leaves his loader, because he can't go forward. Motocross and BMX has been quite strategic with where he's positioned his truck there.
Yeah. This is going to come down to... Sharp Farmer is not far off being full. Modern Logging, not a million miles off being full. And unfortunately...
I'll tell you what...
Motocross has just had to go and cut another tree, so... he's closest to Sharp Farmer in terms of volume in his container, but I think Sharp Farmer's full. Yes, Sharp Farmer's closing up. He is on his way out of here.
Just watching that. So how's he going to go? That Volvo, gosh, that must have some power, because it is not struggling up that hill at all. He is up and out and gone.
It really isn't. Sharp Farmer's gone. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, isn't it? Where's he going?
It does. I'm going to follow him if he's GM. We'll go and see which way he heads.
No worries.
I'll do my best to follow him, because he is fair motoring, and I can't pan fast enough to keep up, so we'll just have to do our best here.
I will keep an eye on the other 2 guys down here. It looks like Motocross and Logging is maybe 1 log away from being full. If he's lucky. If he's not, he'll be incredibly frustrated, because he's had to go and load up a couple of times. So, no, Motocross and BMX is on his way, although it looks like his low load is stuck on a tree trunk as well. He cannot get his truck moving, but he's away now. He is done, and he is making his way towards you as well. He's going to close the back doors, and he is away. Let's just see where Modern Logging's at as well. Yeah,
well, Sharp Farmer's come down the hill. He has jumped onto the main road and heading along the tracks there on the bridge. And he has chosen, oh, he's crashed just there on the bridge. I think he's going to choose to take one of the off-road tracks here in a direct route to the sawmill rather than trying to stick to the main road. But he's a little bit stuck. He's got himself going again.
Now, Motocross has just looped round. He's going to... I'm just trying to work out where he's going to pop out. Same issue. I can see him. He is dropping down onto the main road at the bridge as well. He's heading across the bridge. He's hit the main road already. So I think he's had a very quick look at the best route. So he's going to go over the top and down the other side. Let's
yes,
just
I can see him as well. Yeah, I can see him as well, and he's following the same route that Sharp Farmer is. Sharp Farmer's just coming into the back of the sawmill. However, Motocross and BMX is stuck to the main road, and he is heading back down that way rather than taking the off-road route. But Sharp Farmer is into the back of the sawmill. He's trying to figure out which way to go around. He's got caught out by one of the other trucks parked down here. Instead of going through the gap between the silo and the sawmill, he's had to back up. But he should be fine to get down here and have his container sold first.
There he is. I can see him. He's just arrived. Yep.
Yes, he's just heading into the stealth point there, and he is going to head through, and his container is gone. So just under 16 minutes there on his time, and we're just going to keep an eye out on the main road for Motocross and BMX, and which is just coming into view.
He is not far behind. He's made up some time there, I think. Probably Sharp's little accident maybe slowed him down slightly. But Motocross and BMX coming in not that far
We've
behind.
got the train crossing. FSG, we've got the train coming.
No!
The crossing's just dropped. He is going to get across. He's gambled on it.
Oh no!
He's caught it.
Oh, talk about bad luck.
He's kept his foot in though, and he's
Yeah.
finding his way back out. Oh my goodness, what was the time? He gambled on it, and he would have made it if he didn't get caught on that crossing.
Those
How many
crossings
times
are brutal, aren't they?
I'm just looking at it now very close. If you just get a little bit off centre, there is quite a lip up there. But he has got himself extracted from that little incident and is heading through that sell point. We've had the container glitch.
Unbelievable.
He's lost his container, so I don't think we're going to get that reconnected or not.
We'll see. I don't think that's going to work now when he rolls over the sell point.
He's got it strapped on, so he might be able to. No, unfortunate.
We'll let Hamish sort that one out.
We will.
Yeah. No, that's unfortunate. I think there's definitely something if you have incidents and knock the container off, it can cause some issues. So
it does.
But wow.
We've got ways and means of managing that, though.
We do. We do.
So I've just jumped into the map, FSG. I can see that modern logging is on the main road, and I'm just watching on the map view which route he is going to take. He's followed the way that Motocross and BMX has gone, and he's going to head down on the main road.
I wonder if that's a quicker road. Even though it looks longer on the map, I wonder if it's quicker because you can keep the speed up. Going through the back roads,
I think so.
You just have to regulate your speed a little bit more, don't you?
I'd be inclined to agree with that because he definitely got down here very fast. If he didn't have that accident, I think he would have narrowed the gap down a little bit. Sharp Farmer did get held up a little bit, and that's the risk, is there's more chance for something to go wrong on one of the narrow roads than there is on the main roads. Although, we've now seen one car crash and 2 train accidents, or very close train accidents. So
it's all happening tonight.
There you go. Modern Logging's racing past the G Portal and Thrustmaster signs, and it will be down there selling very, very soon.
Here he comes. I see him now. Oh, he almost turned in front of a car then and had to abort. So he's going into the second exit. It's interesting. People still take this because he's concertinas as well as he'd come into the yard there. So he's waiting for his container to reset. Yeah, this crossing is brutal. If you don't hit it right, it hurts you big time.
I'm with you on that, FSG. I would be heading up that top crossing every single time.
Yeah. And Modern Long is in and sold. So we shall wait for a couple of minutes and see what the results are. I think if everybody's managed to load their containers to the 100%, I think we may be looking at a pretty clear result here with Sharp Farmer coming in first, Motocross and BMX second, and Modern Logging in third. But we shall wait for the official results to come in.
Agreed. Just under 20 minutes from start to Modern Logging finishing there. So I think that chaos course, or super chaos course, certainly dealt up the issues there. So I'm going to jump into my camera screen FSG, and we're going to have to log out of the server and go and jump across to the other one while we're waiting for these scores.
Yeah. So we are running 2 servers tonight. That's the difference tonight. We've set up 2 identical servers, so hopefully it lets us switch over a little bit quicker. So the other teams may be sitting in waiting for us on the other server. So bear with us a second while we jump over, and obviously if we get the green light that the results are in, we'll pull those up as well and have a look at those.
We will.
So an interesting one, that one, Args, right?
It was. I was just going to ask what your take on that course, because like you said, it's the first time the players have seen it. It's the first time we've seen it. The first time it's featured in the logging league. And I'll be interested also in some feedback on what, from a spectator's point of view and from a player's point of view, because there's plenty of opportunities to have more courses like that around the map. We have only explored a small part of it, and while the pre-made courses provide some level of equality between the teams, those chaos courses definitely dish up a whole lot more excitement.
They do indeed. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find the server.
I'm trying to find the server at the same time too. Your multitasking's not quite on point.
No, it's not.
There it is. I can see it there.
Is that the one we were just in though? #1 or #2?
Number 2. No, #2.
I don't have a 2.
It did pop up there for me, but it told me I had the wrong password.
I've got it now.
I thought it was going to be the same.
There we go. I've got the wrong password too. The joys of live TV.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder if I need to key it in again. Password. Let me just check. Obviously, you guys can't see any of this because we've hidden it.
Oh no, it's the wrong password as well.
Nope. Okay. We shall wait for.
I wonder. This was the new server we set up. I wonder if we didn't change the 2 exclamation marks on the end of this one.
Right.
I've just looked on the screen.
Yep, that's easy enough to do. Yep, I'm in.
We've doubled down on exclamation marks.
Peter Clark, the Chaos course is a lot better. The unknown is always harder. There's no planning. Chaos course is definitely good fun for spectators' perspective. Excellent, guys. I think that lack of knowing. I mean, that was tight. And I think, interestingly, even the large letters there causing a little bit of an issue, and the bales having to be rammed out of the way by motocross were interesting. Maybe we'll need to rethink about where we put our signage and stuff.
I don't know.
Or maybe that's.
I don't know. It's the same for everyone. It's whether it's a sign or a tree or a stump or a cliff or anything. It's the same for every player. So it just becomes perhaps a little bit more of a planning thing when you first get in there, and your first chance you look at it is actually take into consideration all those obstructions and adjust your game plan to suit it.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. So while we wait for the confirmation of the scores for that round, we are going to pick up now with another 3v3 match. We're going to go with modern Logging, who you've obviously just seen in the singles. Versus the Pinnacle Loggers.
Indeed. So I'm just having a look now at the team screens there, FSG. So Modern Logging is Modern Logging himself, who we just saw farming Alex, K-Blocks, and Samu CH. And Samu CH is one of the solo players as well.
That's right.
And Pinnacle Loggers is, I think they describe themselves as the most geographically diverse team of the 3. We've got Kigarino, Gaming with James, and Sharp Farmer, who we just saw in that solo match as well.
That's right. Now, Pinnacle Loggers are the guys that have they've replicated the course. They've got their own server. They have replicated the course almost, when I spoke to Hamish about it, he said almost identical to what he'd created. So if they've been working on that over the last few weeks, they could be the team to watch here.
That's right. They certainly could be. And they've shared a lot of screenshots. They look like they've had some serious training and also had a bit of fun doing it as well.
They have indeed.
So are you logged in yet?
I am in, yes. Just
Okay, I'm stuck on 10%. Stuck on 10% at the moment. I'll cancel that and try and start again.
Just going to pan over, and we have a few people in here. Eggerino
Right.
is in. Some of the guys are in, so...
Okay, let's try and start that again. And I can see our scores are up for that solo match, so I'm just going to jump over and have a look at those.
No worries. I'll pull up the results as well. Thomas Halverson, yes, I will walk us through the course in just a little minute.
There we go. It's logging in a little bit better. So there we go. Final results. Sharp Farmer, 15 minutes and 47 seconds, $21,180 of profit. Came in first. Motocross and BMX, his profit's been adjusted and considered to 20,500 at 17 minutes. So he was a bit over a minute behind. And Modern Logging, interestingly, he must have cut down exactly the same trees as Sharp Farmer because their profit was identical. Has come in there at third after 19 minutes and 14 seconds.
I do wonder if that is the max. Is that it might be the maximum you can load into a container? Because we saw that in the first round as well.
It could be. He, I guess, what would adjust that? I don't know if there's any profit fluctuations with the wood. I suppose there wouldn't be if we're not changing days in the calendar.
That's true.
It is.
Yes.
Farmer Hamish is just saying in Discord, maximum value for a 20-foot container is 21,180.
Yeah.
So that is confirmed.
There we go. So, congratulations then to Sharp Farmer. That was an excellent victory.
Yes, indeed it was. Right, I just have to turn on all my flight mode again. And there we are. So I'm up here at the starting screen above, and this is what I was showing people before. I'm going to jump back into my cam. This is what I was meant to show you at the start of the match. Welcome to the Thrustmaster Logging League 2023 signs. And we've got everyone standing up here, getting ready to log in and go.
Fantastic. So, I have had a question from Thomas Halverson in my chat saying, could you walk through what you do on this course? So we're going to be running stage 1 again, which is this course here. You can see there is a fence going up the middle there in between the two bales. And what we've basically got is a 3v3 team race, Thomas. One person in the cutter, one person loading, and we have 2 trucks up at the sawmill that will drive down. And it's the fastest team to load a container with logs and return it to the sawmill who will be the winner.
Right.
See
Sorry, I was just trying to get into the camera.
Kegarino is here and hungry to get started.
So a couple of interesting observations I'm just going to make here. We've got different processing units, the Komatsu there on the left and the Rotney on the right, but it looks like the same options for the loaders, both gone for the wheel loader with the grapples. So I'm still surprised we're not seeing more of the high lift.
I am too. But let's be honest, we know these guys haven't been lying low for the last month. They have been full on practicing. Now, ideally, they would have liked to have been on the other course, I think. Certainly, Kegarino's team would have liked to have been on the other course, but
I'd say so.
It's fair to say that this is random. Hamish runs a random selector, so he's not done anything to avoid them getting an opportunity to play the course they want to play. It is pure luck which course is drawn out of the hat. So this one was selected tonight, so this is the one that we'll be going with.
Yep, and that's all done with full visibility from the in the Discord. The players will see how it was selected and everything like that, so there is no ambiguities around those. Now, I've just come straight up here. I'm up at the Trucks FSG. I'll leave you down there in the arena for when things start.
No problem.
We've got K-Blocks and Sharp Farmer up here running the logistics side of things.
Okay, I have all 4 team members teed up and waiting here. Some lovely matching uniforms for Kegarino and Gaming with James. I've taken a leaf out of the Astrakan team book. Looking very professional.
I can see Sharp Farmer's the same. He's got the red coveralls and everything like that. It looks very nice, very good. K-Blocks is he's got the shades on. He's ready to go. It's looking very, very sharp as well. Interesting, just an observation. We've got one team running a Mack truck. Actually, sorry, no, it's not a Mack. It's the Volvo, but the long nose Volvo versus the I think it's the Globemaster, the second one, isn't it? Yeah, stubby nose there.
So Hamish is in place. I think he's just confirming with teams that they are ready to go. Hopefully we have no issues this time with cutter heads or anything like that, and we see a nice clean competition.
Indeed. So just before we do jump into it, if you just joined the chat, make sure you check out the pinned messages on either mine or FSG's streams there, and you can find a link to Lazy Goat where you can watch from both perspectives. So while I'm up here looking at the guys getting the trucks all loaded up with the containers and ready to go, you can watch FSG's angle and see what's happening down at the coalface.
That's right. Okay, we are ready.
All right, let's get into it. Match number 4 here, the Modern Loggers versus the Pinnacle Loggers.
We are good to go. I'm watching that clock getting ready to be reset. That's usually a good sign that things are about to kick off. So there we go. Clock reset.
Absolutely.
We are under starters orders.
Moments away here from match number 4 kicking off. Anticipation, it's building, and there they go. The players are running towards their trucks down here. FSG, they underway up that end.
We are off here, yes. Very close. Gaming with James and Kegarino, Samu and Modern Logging all hitting the equipment, almost identical timing. So we are moving. We've got a little, we've got a brilliant glitch with Samu. We've got dual Samus here.
We had that last week actually with Samu. Now down here at the trucks, K-Blocks and Sharp Farmer were out of the wood chip area at exactly the same time. Sharp Farmer gave K-Blocks a wider angle, but they still managed to collide into each other. Sharp Farmer carried more speed with the wider angle. It was a bit like a hairpin, but they're both into the wheel loaders at pretty much exactly the same time and off to grab their containers.
Oh, Samu's rolled his cutter. He has rolled his cutter. He's still cutting the log, though, even though he is on his side in the Rotney here. But that is not an ideal start. He almost went once, and then I thought he'd set himself, but he's definitely in a situation here which he might have to sort himself. Now, Modern Logging, there's some beautiful teamwork. Modern Logging has just flipped him back onto his wheels. Brilliant stuff.
Nice to see. And K-Blocks has got the first of the containers loaded up. Sharp Farmer's getting his one onto the front loader, but K-Blocks is just manoeuvring in on the truck. They're actually very, very much neck and neck here, these two. Sharp Farmer actually sort of got himself in a little bit of a tangle. He put his truck a little bit close to where he needed to be, but knowing these guys have been practicing, I'm sure he knew what he was doing. K-Blocks' containers locked in and ready to go. And Sharp Farmer's not far behind.
So interestingly here, Gaming with James is just sitting with a grapple full of logs ready for the truck to arrive. Kegarino is going right up high onto the hill as well to collect logs. Whereas on the other side, Modern Logging has dumped his first pile of logs away over the other side of the course, keep them out of the way of Samu. So different tactics going on here.
All right, well, K-Blocks was first to move his truck, but he's actually on the road behind Sharp Farmer. I don't know whether he paused for a moment. I thought he was waiting for a car that was going past after learning what happened in the first match, but I wonder if he's using Sharp Farmer as a navigation device and not quite familiar with the best way to get there.
Interesting. Interesting. Thomas Halverson, no, we are not going to allow mods. We're basically using the Platinum DLC equipment or the base game equipment, but because we're keeping it open to both PC players and console players, we are keeping mods to a minimum. And actually, this is more about skill, gameplay, and how you handle the logs rather than the mods that you use. So we're giving them the selection choice, but other than that, this is a skill-based game, not a mod-based
K-Blocks
game.
has collided with a tree. He's collided with a tree down here, FSG. So he was following Sharp Farmer. Sharp Farmer took a diversion. He jumped the train tracks, and as soon as K-Blocks saw that happen, Sharp Farmer, saw that happen, he was following Sharp Farmer over the train tracks, but he's collided with a little tree, and he's fallen about 200 meters behind. Not far between the two, though.
So I'm seeing some very impressive grappling with Gaming with James here. He had one pile of logs into his grapple. He's then since dropped that and picked up a second tree as well. I think he's probably holding about 10 logs in total in his grapple at the moment, just waiting for the truck to arrive. So he's in prime position.
Well, they are only moments away from you, FSG. Sharp Farmer's just pulling into the area now.
And I see him. Sharp Farmer has arrived. Gaming with James is just sitting, waiting. This is going to be a very quick first load going into this container, I tell you. I'll get the doors open. Sharp Farmer was out of the truck before it had even stopped there. Gaming with James is not moving, and Sharp Farmer's reversing into position. These guys have put some serious practice in the last month. There is no way they are doing this for the first time. That is impressive. Although not quite accurate with the targeting. There we go. We are half a container full already.
Well, modern logging equally so. He didn't quite get it. He had quite a few logs there just about in the mouth of the grapple, but as he went to close it up, it didn't quite go in as he was hoping. K-Blox is out of the truck. He is going and getting the container door open there, and Samu has brought another tree down and is getting that cut. K-Blox is struggling to get the door open there on the container. And modern logging's dropped half the load of logs he had. There we go. Door is open, finally.
Now, interestingly, the Pinnacle loggers over there, the red team, have pretty much run out of logs already. Gaming with James is loading faster than Kegarino can cut, so... but they are loading a second load in now. Some great teamwork there between Sharp Farmer and Gaming with James.
So modern logging's really having some difficulties picking up a big load of logs. He's got plenty here to grab, but he just cannot get them to stay put and loaded there into the front of the grapple, which is hampering him. He's going to get a few grabbed up here. That's not a bad little load. That's pretty good.
Now, if K-Blox was a little bit straighter there with his truck, he could have reversed onto that quite well. But that's quite an impressive... If he can get those into... They are teetering on the edge of falling out. So he's managed to get those wayward. Wow, he's definitely got quite a quick load in there.
He has. He almost managed to flick that one log up into the back of the trailer without trying.
I'm just going to scroll back over here and have a look at the Pinnacle guys and see how they've been doing. Because Gaming with James is pretty deft with this grab here. He's picking up some pretty substantial loads.
I'm just watching Samu here. He is almost trying to get that log into the back of the truck straight out of the processing unit. It didn't work for him, but I think that's what he was trying to do there.
Well, I've got to say, Args, the Pinnacle loggers are very close to being full, if not already full. I think they can maybe go with one more log. So there's certainly enough been cut down. If Gaming with James can be quick with another load, they are going to be good to go.
That's pretty impressive. Modern logging's just grabbed a decent amount here. If he can get one more grapple like he just has, he is not far away from being full too. And I think the 5 or 6 logs that are sitting at the bottom of the hill might just be enough. If he lets Samu just process this tree very, very quickly, I reckon that will be them full.
Okay, that is the Pinnacle loggers full. We have just rolled over 7 minutes. Are they going to beat the Astragon time here?
That was in my mind. Oh, we're running out of space. Modern logging's taking Sharp Farmer's space away from him and just blocked him from getting out there. It was completely unintentional. He was heading for the truck. Sharp Farmer was heading for the exit, but they are off and going.
So Sharp Farmer away here.
Interestingly, I can just see the train has passed our spot here in the background, so hopefully won't play any part up at the other end of the map.
But I have to say, highly impressive from the guys there, the Pinnacle loggers. That practice that they've put in over the last few weeks has definitely paid dividends. They were incredibly impressive. Now they're heading down to the shop in the town there, and then they will loop back round and head up the road. I'm going to just pan up the road here and wait for them coming. I'm going to try and cut across and get there in time.
I feel some pain here for Modern Logging. He had a huge grapple full and he managed to lose half of it. He would have had a full container and they would have been on the road by now, but he's having to go back and pick up just a couple more logs to make sure he's full.
The margins are so small, right? Aren't they?
They are so fine there between having a full container or not, but they are full now. He has got all the logs in. K-Blocks is starting to drive off. Modern Logging is getting that container door shut, and they are off and heading up your way.
Well, I am telling Sharp Farmer here, he is just passing the gas station halfway up the route and making his way very quickly up to the sawmill. I'm just going to jump over into the other camera car and receive them as they arrive at the sawmill.
Just from my perspective here, looking down at K-Blocks, it looks like the container has slid a little bit on the trailer. It was partly hanging off on one side, which it wasn't when they were loading, so hopefully that's not going to cause them any issues.
Okay, Sharp Farmer's in, and again they're using this point here with the crossing, and again he's jackknifed theirs. He's tried to come in too hot, and again getting caught slightly on the level crossing as well. Why people don't head up to the top road is interesting. And Sharp Farmer's in, and container is sold. That is an impressive run. Around about 9:36, 37 for them. Very impressive.
Well, that will match the time Astrodragon put up in that first match. But I can just see K-Blocks is heading along the main road now, heading over the first bridge and on his way down to get their container sold. Not too far behind, I must admit.
It was a close run thing. That was impressive from both teams, I think. Very, very slick loading and cutting from both teams there.
I agree. He's racing past us.
And when you look at the time that they're going to put in here, again, they should not be embarrassed in any way, shape or form that they're coming in second, because this is an incredibly quick time.
Hey, absolutely, I agree. Oh, we're just trying to find a... Here we go. Find the camera car to be in. Here you go, FSG, you can see him coming in now.
Yep. He is just passing underneath me here. K-Blocks, interesting to see which route they will take in. I wonder if this is the quickest, and the trade-off is that you can potentially have issues, although that was sweet. They hit that at perfect angle.
He did hit that pretty much as well as you could hope for. And container gone and sold. And look, the train's just arriving, just to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, potentially. How many times is that? We've been up here 4 matches and the train has been there or thereabouts in right? 3 of them.
I know, right? So just under 11 minutes there, it looks like, for the guys from Modern Logging, and fair play to them. Excellent run from both teams there.
Indeed, the clock stopped at 10 minutes 54 seconds, so very, very impressive from both teams. Yeah, Legion's just commented to say he's suffering with that grapple. He certainly did, and I'm going to be intrigued to see what teams do, because I think there's been more issues with using those wheel loaders with grapples than there has been with the high lift, or even with the Volvo excavator and grapples.
That's right, and I always struggle, I'll be honest, when I'm playing. They are not the easiest thing to use, definitely not. So fair play to the teams for selecting those, and there's obviously a reason they've selected them, but definitely...
Absolutely.
Very difficult to use compared to the high lift.
They are. Now, we didn't mention it. We talked about it last time. Just, again, Kigarino here, who I'm just standing in front of. Anyone who hasn't seen Kigarino's channel, go and check it out, because he is has a muscle disability. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but he uses his mouth to control a lot of the equipment, and it is a sight to see. It's just super impressive to see how well he does with all of that. And it's just great to see that Farming Simulator is so inclusive and being able to have controls configured that way, and you can still play the game. So go and check it out. It's something to see.
It is incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. So while we wait for the results to come in, again, just want to say a huge thank you again to Thrustmaster and to G-Portal, our sponsors for Logging League. And as Arg said before, you know, both of us have got dual joysticks, dual Thrustmaster joysticks, and the difference that you get from something like logging, but even just using wheel loaders and front loaders on the farm, it's a much more enjoyable experience with a with a joystick than it is trying to work it out with a mouse and a keyboard. So if you don't own one, we have got links in the descriptions below, and we are going to try and get some to be giving away as prizes in future rounds of Logging League. So by all means, check out the links below. And for me, I think they are by far the best joysticks available at the moment, certainly for FS22.
Absolutely, yep. Can't agree more with you on that. Both that and obviously G Portal for servers. Really enjoying their service that they provide, and the stability of the servers have been second to none. And, I've used a few in my time, so pleased to be part of their group as well.
I can confirm. Yes, I've experienced a few different servers, and they are outstanding. They are the stability and the speed of them is exceptional.
So, just while we wait for the scores to come through the FSG, should we have a look at the teams that we've got coming up for our next solo match?
Yes, let's do that. Let's pull them up.
So there we go. We've got Gaming with James, who we've just seen there in the 3v3s, versus Genetic versus Bargon. So obviously, will be intriguing to see whether the Bargon backup comes into play again for this one.
Indeed, that was probably one of the highlights of the first round, wasn't it? Bargon's completely different approach, and had scratching our heads to start with, but watching it in action, it was highly impressive.
Oh, it certainly was. Just seeing the guys join the server here, which you can't quite see, but we're just going to have a look. The scores are up, and we can go and have a look at that. But the Bargon backup, that was the highlight round one, so it'll be intriguing to see how that comes through next time. But
let's jump in and have a look at the 1v1v1 results.
And there we are. So Pinnacle Loggers, 9 minutes 35 seconds. They made $21,259, and they've come in first there. Modern Logging about a minute behind, minute 20 or so behind, but they're also $2,200 behind on the profit stakes. So clear second place there for Modern Logging, but pretty close on the times. And these are just getting fast. I'm intrigued to see if we can break that 9-minute barrier.
Yes, I think it's going to happen. I do think it's going to happen in the future. But an excellent round there. Well done all, and congratulations to Sharp Farmer. Very slick. So if we jump back to the camera for the original Chaos course, Args, you will see that Mr. Bargon has gone for the same equipment as last time.
I'm just getting down there, and we're just going to make our transition through to that to have a look. I was intrigued to see what was happening.
So again, one of the challenges with this course is accessibility and tightness, so you can very quickly start getting tangled up with other people who are near you, and the trees are very closely packed and tight, so yes, it could make things very interesting.
Certainly can, and I can see we've got another wheel loader with the front grapple, and again, a pretty diverse selection of equipment. Nothing, apart from the trucks, is the same.
That's right, which is nice. I like to see that. People taking their own directions and testing stuff out. It's great to see.
And the results that we've seen so far, I don't think, apart from maybe the high lift, I'm going to drum on about it the whole time, but there's nothing that has given anyone a really clear advantage from an equipment selection point of view. So it's good to see that we can run it here. You can jump into whatever you're most comfortable using and still have a good fist of going through and winning your match.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
All right, well, Farmer Hamish is calling ready. We'll be under starters orders very soon. Kigarino, nice to have you here in chat. Legends asked when we're going to see an Argsy FSG rematch. FSG, have you been practicing?
I have not been practicing, but I also know you haven't been practicing, so we will definitely, I think, before the end of the season. But there's been talk as well about maybe getting a little bit of a YouTuber exhibition match, an invitational match or something.
That's right. Yeah, I like that idea. Right, we're under starters orders, so we're just waiting here to see the guys jump off their bales and go, and we are off. Go. And Scooter Workbench, he said, please start. Chop, chop, let's get to it. So there we are. Chop, chop, let's get to it.
And remember, these these fences here. Oh, the train is here, Gaming with James and Genetic, both taken out by the train. Bargon just snuck over in time.
Oh my goodness, I had not given that any perspective at all. But look at this, Genetic and Gaming with James are both stuck on their sides. Genetic's righted himself, but what are the chances?
What could you do with that, right? That train has been an absolute thorn in everybody's side tonight. Every single time we've had a match, it's been there or thereabouts.
Oh, the guys need to look for it. They need to be aware of that risk and that issue, but you couldn't count on it being there. How many trains are they running on this map? Have they got multiple services? Because it seems to be around us frequently.
Oh dear. So Bargon has got a slight advantage as he's onto his second tree already, and he had pick of the trees there when he arrived. Because the other two were on their roofs on the other side of the road.
They were. He could go and choose his own spot and just do whatever he wants to. Now, Gaming with James was heading towards a similar spot to Bargon, but he's actually moved further up the road and going to make a start up there.
Yeah, I think he was aware that that was going to cause a few issues, not just for him, but for Bargon as well. So fair play to him. That's admirable that he decided to check out and go and start somewhere else.
Indeed. Now, question for you, FSG. If that happened to you, would that throw you off the whole match?
You would be very frustrated, right? Also knowing who you're up against. And, you know, we saw Bargon in the first round absolutely bossing it. His loading skills are second to none. So potentially, yes, it would definitely throw you off, I think. No question. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the last thing you need. You think, oh, gosh, I need to stay with this guy, and then you get just taken out by the train. But again, equipment selection could play a part in that because Bargon was over faster. His processing unit just ran faster. He got up and going and managed to beat the train.
He did. Now, I would love to know after. We should drop in and chat to these guys afterwards and find out if any of them saw it coming or they were just so focused on getting over the tracks and getting cutting logs. But yes,
I'm not sure.
That was an interesting. That was an interesting curveball.
It was. Now, I'm just watching down here. Gaming with James has not managed to cut a tree down yet. He has really struggled to go in and grab a tree and get it cut down. I'm not sure what the issue is with that. I'm pretty sure these trees are on the right side of the land, but don't know.
Now, I'm just going to follow Bargon for a second here. He is cutting a lot of trees down, although he has I think he's actively selecting big trees. So what he's doing, though, is driving through and leaving other trees up. Now, that might cause a bit of an issue when it comes to loading, because he's going to have to pick his way through other trees to get. He hasn't got a clear run to pick up any of his logs.
Now, I'm just looking. We have an issue with Gaming with James is trying to cut trees down on land we don't own. That is the issue here with this. I believe.
Oh, so
no,
he was
no,
on the
I'm
side?
looking. No, I lie. I'm looking again. Unless Farmer Hamish has just purchased that land, the land he is on is actually owned by the farm, so he shouldn't have any difficulties with it. But he's moving across the road. He hasn't been able to cut a tree down yet, though. I'm hoping he has all the correct permissions and everything like that to be able to do so.
It looks to me like he's not getting his header lined up particularly well. I know he's just folding it up there, but...
Hey, I'm just looking. Everyone has permission to cut trees, so there shouldn't be any issue with that.
We're having another pause. Looks like we have another slight machine malfunction. Luckily enough, this time we are right next to the shop, so we shouldn't have any downtime. Really, but we're getting another. So interestingly, it was the Komatsu last time it was issued, and it was the Rotney this time. So it's not the same piece of equipment that's caused any issues here.
No, it's not. It's interesting to see why we're having these issues. It's just little frustrations that we could do without, but it is what it is. Gaming with James is now at a very distinct disadvantage.
Huge disadvantage, which is a shame.
Not cut a tree down at all. But it could happen to anyone. It's not not anything we can control, and we may have to have a little bit of a discussion in the between rounds as to what we do if this situation arises in future rounds. How we can try and level the playing field a little bit more.
Farmer Ed has suggested that he did get hammered by the train, and maybe he has bent his head of his machine slightly.
That is entirely possible, but he's got the newer piece of equipment in here and has been able to get the tree cut down.
We are underway again.
Is Farmer Hamish, have we restarted? We have. I thought he might have been giving him a chance to catch up, but...
So Bargon's dropped his cutter already, and he is coming in to start loading already, which is very impressive.
I can hear the train, and Bargon's just got across in front of it again.
How is this happening? How is this happening?
Oh my goodness. I don't know, but how frequent has it been? We're 4 minutes into the match, so the train must come past every 4 or so minutes.
4-minute cycle.
It's worth keeping an eye on, yeah.
Genetic's got a huge pile of logs here. He has done some seriously fast work to get all of this sorted. Bargon is loading. Not ideal start though. He's having to sort some of these logs out and get them into a bit of a neater position. But with his handling skills, he's making quick work of it.
He is. I'm just going to make one observation. I've just come out to have a look at the trucks. If you remember the second match where Bargon used his backup to the best effect, he'd been able to position the container on the very back of the truck.
That's correct.
Now, because we've started off with predefined equipment just to speed things up and avoid that buying phase that was slowing things down last time, Farmer Hamish has pre-configured all the containers in exactly the same spot. So while it'll work for him, it's not going to be quite as fast and efficient as it was when he managed to use it to his greatest success. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
Good observation. Yes, it definitely helps if he's at the back. The container's right at the back, so...
Farmer Hamish, Gaming with James, is down here. He's managed to catch up a little bit. He's got a good 3 trees processed, and he's certainly being careful about what wood he is selecting. He's going through and getting the bigger, taller trees, so he's getting lots of logs out of one. I think if he cut down a couple more trees, he wouldn't be too far off Genetic. We're just watching him there. He's manoeuvring his way out and heading off to find some more. So he's being selective with his tree selection too.
And I do think Hamish maybe gave him a little bit of a chance to cut a tree down and just kind of rebalance things a little bit before he started the other guys off as well. So maybe that's definitely helped. And I don't think anybody's too upset about that.
No. Now, I've just come over here to have a look at Genetic FSG, and he's going to be in the same position he was last time, which, if you recall, he ran out of trees and had to go a long way to find some, and he's got that slow Volvo. He is pretty much cut down every tree he can see within his range, so it's going to be interesting to see whether he will get enough logs out of this load that he has on the ground to fill the container.
I am just watching poetry. Bargon's loading is a sight to behold. Honestly, his skill with that grapple is pretty special to watch.
There's a lot of the guys that have impressed me with that, with the Volvo grapples and things like that. There's been some really talented loaders in there. Be awesome to see if there's any more people out there who haven't joined yet. We're always looking for new teams, new entrants, whether it's solo or teams. So it's never too late to come in and start if you want to be a part of the logging league. And think you guys can foot it with some of these fellas, because there's some pretty talented, well, pretty impressive talent being shown.
There really is. There really is. Now, the thing I said about Bargon, that he's having a bit of a challenge because he's having to pick his way through the trees. I think it's slowing him down a little bit. Obviously, if he had nice stacks with nothing in the way, he would be able to move a lot quicker. But he's still moving at pace, though. He is.
And Gaming with James is bringing his wheel loader in, so he is catching up there. He's starting to get things loaded. Genetic hasn't actually got a tree into the back of the of his container yet. He's just picked up his first 2 logs and about to throw those in. There we go.
So interestingly, Bargon last to pick up his truck. And remember last time as well, the first time Bargon had a go at this, he had just ever so slightly too few logs. And I think one of the key things with the Bargon backup approach is you've got to be able to load your container in one pass. You can't then have to go and cut more trees and reload. It really slows you down. So while it's a good approach, you've got to get it perfect every time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, he won't have got his truck because he can drive that forwarder out here and load his truck out in the yard area here. So that is the one position he does have a bit of an advantage over these guys. But Genetic's getting his container filled up there. Gaming with James is starting to get some logs picked up in the grapple, and we'll be throwing those in the back of the container very, very soon. I was just hanging out here on the outside of the course to keep an eye on it for the next train arrival and departure, which can't be too far away.
Bargon has loaded every log he has cut down up and out. I don't know what you think, Args, when you see him come past you. I don't think he's got enough there. I think he's going to have to come and get some more. But he's going for it. He's going for his truck. But we shall see.
I know last time he had just a couple of logs too many when he did this. He's paused. He's learned. He's slowed down there at the train tracks. And he's actually stopping and checking. The train is coming. He's had to pause and wait for the train. I think he would have made it over if he'd kept his foot in it. But he's paused and played the sensible option there.
Better to be safe than sorry there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Look, hey, I'm on the fence here whether he does have enough logs. They are all very, very large logs, though.
I'm telling you, though.
But last time he did have that stacked a whole lot higher than he's got it at the moment.
He did. Now, I'm interested to see if he's going to slightly go in at an angle here as well. Is he going to go in, rather than driving straight in at the back, is he going to try and manoeuvre these in from the side? I think he is.
It does look like it, yes. It does look like it. Oh, there we go. He's figured that one out
so
as a solution.
He's obviously worked on in the last month as well, but I think we're not going to have enough logs here.
Oh, has he nailed it? I think that could be 100% full. He might have been practicing and known exactly which trees. I think, do you know what I think, FSG? He's gone in to the game and he has practiced cutting down which trees he needs to cut down to get that container 100% full.
I think you're right. I think you're right. There's no way he picked his way through that route and selected those trees by accident there.
No, I agree. I think he's done that very strategically and very tactically. We're just sitting over 11 minutes as he's on as well. Just under 11 minutes as he's on his way down to the south point. I'm going to follow him down there and leave you here, FSG.
No worries. I shall cut back and watch the guys. I'll come in and see what Gaming with James is doing. He's loading up there. I've got trees in the way. Genetic is very close to having a full container. I was watching him as Bargon was loading up. Gaming with James slightly behind, and obviously a really unfortunate round for him. He's just maybe not recovered from that unfortunate start from him. But Genetic might be touch and go here as well. If he's got enough, we shall see. I think he's not got enough here. He's going to have to cut down another tree as well. So it all boils down to how many, as Bargon's just proved, he's timed that to perfection.
He has. He's just gone past the G portal and Thrustmaster sign, and I'm just going to try and very quickly get up to see which way he enters the yard to sell. And he's taken that same crossing everyone else has taken.
It's interesting.
He's taken a little bit slower. Oh, and he's got caught just a little bit, not enough to throw him off, but the front lip of the truck did get caught on it. Did make him stutter just for a second. But he's heading into the sell point, and there his container has disappeared, and he has sold it in just over 12 minutes. So there is our benchmark for the new time on that map, that course.
Gaming with James is one log away from having a full container. I actually think he's going to pass Genetic. Although Genetic's closing the doors, we are going to have a very close run thing for second place. Now, interestingly, Gaming with James is struggling to pick up his last log. If he can get that in quickly, his truck is pointing in a different direction. Genetic is around. Genetic's running down the tracks. He is bold.
I just came back in time to see that
tonight. But Genetic is on his way. I think Gaming with James was struggling with just that last log, but for him to pull that back from the start he had, that is pretty impressive.
He was horribly disadvantaged.
He was. So he's in his truck and he's trying to just get things turned around now, and he is going to go back to the road, or is he? Yes, he is. He's going to be sensible and go back down the road. I thought he might cut over the tracks here because there's a little bit of a space there where you can cut through and cross over, but he's going back down to the road. He's coming out now, and he's on his way up to you, Args.
Excellent. Oh, I'm just looking here. Genetics just coming down to the Thrustmaster and G portal sign, and not going to be too far away from heading into the sell point. I'm just going to follow him along this way. See which course he enters in through as well. There we go. Past the Thrustmaster sign and on his way down into the sell point. The train has just gone past the sell point as well. So again, not too far away behind, having another issue with it.
I think they've upped the regularity of the train for sure.
I think they've increased the service. He's gone through the top entrance. He has learnt and taken the smoother way in. He's turning into the sell point, and his container has disappeared. So we are just through on 14 minutes there for
Nice one,
Genetic. So
Genetic. That's a
about
fast
a
time.
minute and a half behind.
If we just look down the road again, not too far behind is probably an extremely frustrated Gaming with James. That did not go how he wanted it to go, unfortunately, but he's really pulled himself back into the mix here. From starting so far behind and not having any logs cut, he's done well.
He has, considering he got completely KO'd by that train. He's done well to get back up and carry on.
He has. And there he is, pulling in. And container sold.
Gone.
Well played, guys. Well played.
Impressive, impressive. So there we are. That is match number 5, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Done and dusted. So we're just sitting with one more solo match to kick into, and that will be our round 2 of the logging league, brought to you by Thrustmaster. Done and dusted.
Yes, indeed. Thoughts on that one, Args? There was a lot to dissect after that round.
I'm still blown away by how many times we've had the train interfere with the matches, considering it got close a couple of times last round, but to have the amount of disruption that train has caused is, sort of really caught me out.
Yeah, that, I mean, hitting both the guys at the start there was phenomenal, and, you know, Bargon just got over in time. But Genetic and Gaming with James really, that must have really knocked you off your stride, right?
Oh, absolutely. But it's not just that. I mean, you know, they had to wait. You know, Bargon there had to make a deliberate decision to wait for the train as well.
Yeah.
Right at the end. So it's become a factor. But I think the most impressive thing there, if Bargon has gone in and selectively chosen which trees he is going to cut down to make sure he gets a 100% container without cutting down one tree more than he needs to, that's a pretty impressive effort.
That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal.
Mm.
And the gauntlet is down now, right? That the other players are going to have to really think about how they approach it, because Bargon's going to run away with it. If he's got it down to that kind of meticulous level of detail, somebody's going to have to do something pretty special to beat him.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, and even figuring out to load the container from the angle rather than trying to back up on the ramps and do it that way when he doesn't have the ability to position the container right on the back of the truck like he wanted to.
That's right.
You know, again, he's testing those techniques out to the maximum, and he's doing a good job at it.
Phenomenal. Okay, we are just resetting here, getting the final few players in, and we are going to go with the final 1v1 round, which is going to be on solo course 1, which we've not used tonight yet. If you watch the first round, you will recognise this from last time. Slightly different way of setting things up now. Last time we had everybody start in the middle. This time they're distributed a little bit more evenly to give everybody a fair chance of getting to their machinery in roughly the same amount of time. So you can see the 3 bales spaced out here.
So I was just going to go through the teams. We've got Tobias, Samu, CH, and Motocross and BMX coming up in the solos here. So we've seen Motocross and BMX in one of the solo matches already. Tobias has been in one of the team matches, and Samu, CH played in the last round. So all have some experience either today or in round 1 for the logging league.
Yeah, which will make it an interesting round. Let's talk about equipment as well, Args, because got some differences here as well.
Yeah, I'm just jumping back in there, but having a look across, it looks like we've got 2 players with the Volvo excavator and grapple, and then we've got, well, in fact, all 3 using the grapple for loading here in this one. I wonder if that's a consideration of the compact nature of these areas.
That's true. That's, yeah. No, it could well be. It just gives you a little bit more maneuverability and be able to move things about. Now, all 3 of these fenced off areas have identical trees in them, so nobody is at a disadvantage. You can cut down exactly the same trees wherever you are. The only difference is, I guess, position of machinery, making sure that you set your route out in the truck. We saw last time people getting caught on the fences because they were a little bit tight to them, things like that. So it could be interesting.
It could be. Now, just before we jump into this match, we'll just take a look at the scores from the last one. So there we go. Bargon has come in 21,259 under 12 minutes. So clear winner there. And Gaming with James has actually come through second as Genetic has taken a whopping $4,700 penalty. He'd obviously, again, it's just a selection, and that's coming down to where he's choosing to move to cut his trees down, and he's just getting into a position where he doesn't have the good quality lumber to throw into the back of the truck.
That's right. So, I mean, brilliant. Fair play to Gaming with James there. That is, you would almost want to call that a victory after the start he had.
Oh, absolutely. I think, obviously both Gaming with James and Genetic were both thoroughly hamstrung by that train crash, and so for Genetic even to finish only 2 minutes behind Bargain, not a bad effort, because they probably spent a good 40 seconds writing their equipment and getting things underway again. Are we going on this one, or are the guys just running around for the fun of it?
I think they're just running around for the fun of it.
Running around for the fun of it, they are. Just testing their route to get to their equipment.
So Tobias just saying here, the excavator is just better. Full stop. He's a big advocate for it.
He is. He's a big fan.
And
so we've got all three players in
his
here.
Skills, he's good with it.
So we're here on solo stage number 1. There's no arguments where we are with that nice big sign there at the front of it. As FSG was saying before, we've got the 3 bales there where each player will start off from, which is to try and even out the distance to run to their equipment. So Farmer Hamish has put some time and effort into getting that done as best as he can. So I guess we are under starters orders, waiting for a go, and we'll be into the very last match of the day.
Yes, indeed. There we go. Hamish is called ready. So watch the timer in the top corner. You'll know when we are good to go. Here
All right,
we
time
go.
is reset. CatCod Driver's saying the scoring's upside down because the winner was on the bottom, so that's just the way it's put in, but at least there's a first and second. Anyhow, we're under starters orders. Motocross and BMX, Samu, CH and Tobias are ready to get things going.
So if you want Args, I'll stay down here, keep an eye on Tobias. If you want to keep an eye on Motocross, and we've both got a view of Samu in the middle then.
Absolutely. I got Convaris is cheering for Tobias in chat, and they are off and moving.
So Tobias, engine fired up. He is moving.
Yep, likewise down here. Samu with the faster equipment should be able to get in and get first tree down. Motocross and BMX is moving in here. He's getting into position to cut down the first of his trees as well. But Samu, I can see, has... Oh, I've just seen it. She said Tobias has gone timber on the back. Samu does have one going down now.
It's pretty close still. Yeah, it's pretty close.
As the Motocross and BMX has got his first tree cut down also.
Samu is just cutting his first tree, although I was slightly panicked then. Like the logs disappeared, but it was just my view distance.
View distance.
I was like, please, let's not have another bug.
All right, so Motocross and BMX has got his first tree through and processed. He's going to have to be careful because I reckon that last log was a little bit undersized, and that could be an easy trick to get caught up with because it looks the right length, but it didn't trim anything off the end of the log, so
yeah,
something to be mindful of.
So Tobias and Samu running neck and neck here. They are super close to each other. Interestingly, Tobias has got one pile of logs sitting right at the exit, so hopefully that doesn't hinder him when he's trying to sort things out with his truck later on. Samu's just felled their third tree. Tobias got a little bit tangled up, but he's still moving at pace.
And Samu's got a very neat pile going on here. That's going to make it hopefully easier for him to load and just come to one spot and pick everything up and get out of there.
Yeah, Tobias a little bit more spaced out here. He's got a couple of piles going on here and a little bit crisscrossed and things like that as well. So you might have to do a little bit of tidying up.
So just seeing Motocross and BMX has cut down one of the big tall trees and he's getting that one through and processed. No issues down this end for him at this stage. Everything's running smooth. No trains or anything like that to deal with on this course.
Yeah, and I have to say, Samu and Tobias looking really smooth here. These guys, they are really into a bit of a rhythm here. It's looking good.
Excellent, excellent. So it'll be interesting to see who is going to blink first and go and jump into their loaders and start to try and throw some logs into the back of the truck. It's that age-old question: have you got enough logs cut down, and are they in a good enough position that you can start loading them without having to switch between equipment too much?
Exactly, and I would be really interested to know what's the time penalty if you keep cutting when you've got enough. If you cut down another extra couple of trees, does that save you more time than getting into your truck, loading it, realizing you're still one or two short, and then having to get out, recut, and everything? Is it better to just stay in and cut as many trees as possible, and then move on?
Well, I suppose Bargain showed us in the last one, if you can cut down the exact right number of trees and get them all loaded up and to be 100% without any excess cutting, then that's certainly going to be the best thing to do. But you want to be confident that you've hit that 100% mark without having to then, because if you get 1-2 logs short, you're kind of kicking yourself for not cutting down that one extra tree.
That's right, and it breaks your rhythm, right? You're having to jump back into a different piece of machinery, get cutting, find a tree, cut it down, all of that. So, yeah, no, I think
that's right.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. And
yeah,
I do
so
think
Motocross and BMX. Sorry, FSG. Motocross and BMX has made the decision that he's got enough logs. He's jumped into his truck, opened his container door, and getting into a spot to start loading. So he's obviously decided he's got enough done.
Impressive. He's first mover advantage there, whereas both the guys here are still cutting trees down.
Now, I think this course might be better suited for him. He showed some skill up on the first solo match he played in, and the teams match he played in with Modern Loggers.
Yes, his loading skills were very impressive. So
they were. He does have a good stack of logs down here. I'd probably estimate he's cut down 5 decent-sized trees. So we're just going to have to wait and see. My biggest concern for him is he does have some undersized logs. He's just picked up 4 in one go with that grapple. That's an impressive start.
That is impressive. Tobias has moved his truck into place, and he is now moving with his grapple. We had a long pause there for Samu, actually. I'm not sure what happened, but he's back now. Everything working.
And he's running to his truck as well, FSG, so he is entering the loading phase as well.
Now, looking at Tobias's pile and looking at Samu's pile, Tobias has got more logs down, so I don't think Tobias is going to have an issue with quantity of logs, although he does have some tips in there. He does have some non-6 meter logs in, so...
we're getting some chat from Tobias. What's going on there?
Hamish just jumped in Tobias's truck and unhitched him for some reason. I don't know what happened there. Find out what's going on there.
So Motocross and BMX I'm watching load down here. He is close to half full in his container. He'd probably be a bit over 50% now. He's still got a decent pile of logs down here. He's been sifting through them while he stacks some of the rubbish wood in at the same time. He's sifting through and just seeing what's going on.
Okay, Tobias is into a bit of a rhythm here. Now he's pretty deft with this grapple as well. His ability to pick them up and rotate them and drop them in is very impressive.
So I don't want to get us caught out again by having the silent assassin in the middle course racing off without us. I'm just jumping over here to check Samu. He's got 4 logs picked up all at once, and he is not too far behind Motocross and BMX with how full his container is. And I can just going to come down and have a look at Tobias
as well. Tobias is not far off a half a load in already, so this is close.
This is close. I would still say advantage game Motocross and BMX at the moment.
Yeah.
Samu in second and Tobias running in third, but it's going to be a close run thing.
Tobias' speed of loading is impressive to watch for sure.
You know what could be just the small things which could make a difference on this. Motocross and BMX has his truck facing already towards the exit, so he has no more extra manoeuvring to do, whereas both the others' trucks are not quite in the right spot.
Yes, and I talked about that pile of logs that Tobias dropped right at the exit at the start, and he hasn't done anything with them. He's not bothered to go and pick those up. So they are bang in the way of his exit route now. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that.
Yeah. Now, motocross and BMX, he picked up 4 logs in one go with the grapple, but one of them he noticed was undersized. He's actually spending the time filtering through and getting those out. Is Samu moving, FSG? Is he on the way out?
No, I think he's just resetting. Oh, no, he is. He's going.
No. Doors are closed and he is moving.
He is going now. He's hit the turn angle wrong, so he's having to do some additional maneuvers to get the truck round the corner. You need to really hug this fence on the outside to be able to get round, and he's getting himself in all kinds of trouble here.
Motocross and BMX, I would say, is full as well. He is jumping into his truck. Container door is still open, but he is heading on his way out. No, he's paused and closing his door. He is only going to be seconds behind Samu here.
Okay, so this is down to... This is a flat drag race to the finish here. Can Samu get to the end without any issues? Remember, we've still got the level crossing to go, and we've got the dreaded train.
Yes, right. I can't see it coming across the bridge, so I think motocross and BMX is going to be okay at this stage. But Samu is on the main road, and he is heading out. Motocross and BMX is not too far behind at all.
And Tobias is just finishing off here. I think we'll leave Tobias to his last few logs. He's not a million miles behind either. And like I said, if he's made the effort to make sure that his container has got all the perfect length logs in, even if he's last on the road, he could still be pretty close to being up there at the front.
Absolutely. So I just remember there is another level crossing. I can see both trucks coming down towards the sawmill. We do have another level crossing they have to cross. So there must be about 3 train crossings they have to deal with in this one. Look, I wouldn't rule out the train being an issue again. It's been so much part of today's play.
That's right.
It could come into it again.
So I'm waiting in the town for the guys to arrive.
Yep, I'm just going past the roller coaster. Samu is heading down. And motocross and BMX, he's cut the corner. Motocross and BMX has taken a route inside along the train tracks to try and close down that gap to Samu.
Oh, wow. Look at him go as well. He was full air there. Now he really has closed this up.
He has. It's
really
a big
has
advantage.
Closed this up. Here comes the train
the
as well.
Traffic's
So
coming to play too.
The train is not going to cause any issues at the sawmill, I don't think. But this is super close. Oh, he's just squeezed between 2 cars there. My goodness, that was close.
This is going to come down to who got the best logs, and if Samu has filled his container with perfect logs, he is going to be the winner. If Motocross and BMX has a perfect load and Samu has any deadwood or undersized logs, he's going to be coming in second place.
But also, Args, remember this dreaded crossing. Where are they going to go in? Are they going to have learnt from the others and go in at the top, or are they going to turn early?
Well, it's certainly a question to ask.
And Samu's headed up to the top, so I think Samu's given himself the best opportunity here of not having any issues. And he's turning in, and he's had a container
the container
glitch.
hasn't sold.
He's had a container
you wouldn't
glitch.
read about it. And,
Oh,
and
both of
likewise
them.
at the other end.
Come on.
What an anticlimactic finish
Well,
to
that
what was an incredibly exciting race.
Sub 11-minute race, though, for both of those guys. Motocross and BMX
that's
and
impressive.
Samu. Both under 11 minutes.
Oh, look. I feel for the guys. I am incredibly frustrated. That's a bit of a downer to finish off what's been a fantastic round with a whole lot of excitement to end with these issues here with the containers. I thought we got past it. I thought we had a much more successful couple of rounds.
Yeah.
But it's a bummer.
So we'll have to we'll let Farmer Hamish work out what happened there. He's been keeping tabs on the containers, so he'll be able to make a call on what with those.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
But excellent from both guys. Both sub 11 minutes. That is some seriously good. And you think how far away that course is from here as well. The amount of time on the
absolutely.
road, it's a pretty impressive timescale.
Absolutely. I'm just seeing Tobias is just coming into sight now. He is not too far away from coming down here and finishing off as well.
So motocross and BMX, though, cutting across the train tracks and running through the forest rather than staking the roads. That made a big difference to his distance behind.
Oh, it
Samu,
did.
didn't
That was a bold decision. If I was these guys, I'd be playing close attention to the trucks as to see if there's any difference in speeds, because that could make a difference. I don't know if the Max or the Volvos or anything like that could be running a little bit faster. But
and there we go,
yeah,
third
Tobias,
container. We've had a nightmare as well. Tobias is just going to bulldoze this into the
bulldoze it in and see if that works.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, look at that.
Well done, Tobias. Well done.
There we go. Well, what a way to finish.
Yeah, a bit anticlimactic after the last round, unfortunately, with those container glitches. But we shall leave Hamish to sort that little debacle out. Well played, and well played to all of the guys tonight. We've had some fantastic rounds, I think. It's been really enjoyable, hasn't it?
It has been. It feels like a long time ago since we watched Astragon and Power Team Esports with the first round, and great to have Power Team Esports joining us as well as Astragon with their Farming Sim League pedigree.
Indeed.
But yeah, it feels like a long time ago since that match.
That's right. So, yes, we'll hopefully get the nod from Hamish in a little minute. Obviously, he's going to have to work out what's what with this. But
Indeed.
even Tobias there with a 12-minute 25 round is a hugely impressive time.
It is. It is.
So takeaways from tonight, Args. What have we learnt?
Oh goodness, where do we start? Times are getting faster. That is the big learning. Is all the teams are improving and times are getting faster, and yeah, that would be the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, definitely. And interestingly, the selection of route into the sawmill has posed a few challenges tonight, hasn't it?
It has. That's a good point as well. And the trains come into play considerably tonight.
It really has. It really has. I'm not sure if there's a Hamish has timed the start of the game so he knows where the train is on the map. I'd be very surprised if he has. But
look,
but that was
he's cruel enough with his course selections as it is to then throw that in against everyone.
He is. What do you think about the new Chaos course as well? That's a brute, isn't it?
It is a brute, but I'm looking. I like I said at the start, that's where Farming Sim Logging Legal started out with just an impromptu match in an area that was readily accessible. I think there's plenty of other opportunities around the map to bring in those kind of courses again, and keeping it a little bit fresh, 100%. And also bringing a little bit of surprise for the players. 100%.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The set courses, as Bargon proved tonight, with doing a sub 10-minute round on that first Chaos course. You know, you can once you know the courses, you can start to work out the quickest route to them. So throwing a random in every round is a good idea.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, big difference there with those. Jason saying what we've learned is watch out for the train. Indeed, yes. I mean it's spatial awareness, isn't it? It's being aware of what's around you, and we talked about it on that Super Chaos course, is being aware of, you know, where the sign is, where the bales are, where the other trees are. Can you drive down that piece of road, or are you going to beach your truck?
Absolutely.
What's going to happen? So, all variables that players run into with playing Farming Simulator every day. So
that's right, and of course the head-on smash with the traffic as well. It was totally unexpected.
Yes. So it was that game went through about 5 different leaders, I think, at different stages with different issues.
It really did. So,
right. Looks like Farmer Hamish is typing in chat and saying we're all good to come up with some scores, I think. So we'll go and take a look at that last scoreboard for the solos.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so.
All right. So we're calling it. Tobias had a pretty much perfect load, $21,000. Samu and Motocross and BMX have been ruled to have 20,500. So the results stand on time. Samu coming away first based on time. Motocross and BMX there in second, about 12 seconds down, not far at all between them.
It was close,
and Tobias coming there in third. That's right. But you had that penalty. They only had a $681 penalty that's been ruled over Tobias, and the times come back to less than a minute between them.
Yeah, no, very impressive. Very impressive round by all three. Very close in terms of skill and ability there, and we I think we saw that through the match, didn't we? It was level pegging pretty much all the way through the match.
It was absolutely.
Excellent. Well, the leaderboards will be updated over the next couple of days. If you're not in the Logging League Discord, jump on over there, and you can see the updated league table for the whole season there as it keeps developing. We are going to try and mix it up to make sure everybody gets the same amount of rounds throughout the season, so that
Correct.
Everybody's got the it's a fair approach, and also teams and individuals can choose to drop their worst results as well. So it's the top 4 results that will go through to the final. So all to play.
And we know
for
that
still.
there's some teams. That's right. We know there's some teams unavailable over some weekends as well, so they've been given a few extra rounds already. So by the end of the 5th round, they should have all played the same number of matches, and we'll have a clear leaderboard over who qualifies or what ranking they go into the finals for.
That's right. So exciting stuff.
Indeed. Oh, that was funny, FSG. I enjoyed that again. Looking forward to these
absolutely
every
exceptional.
month.
And I think we've shaved a half an hour off our stream time as well. So
I don't know if we have, to be perfectly honest. We were shaping up to with the way the first couple of matches went, with those little issues that we had.
that's right.
Just
Just
dragged
caught us
it out a bit,
but
yeah.
well, you know what?
but
Continual improvement and all that.
that is. So yeah, like we've said before, feedback is most welcome and appreciated. Constructive feedback is welcome and appreciated.
Not just feedback for the sake of it. Yeah.
Just feedback. Yeah. Yep.
No ranting or swearing.
No, that's right. But no, big thanks also to Thrustmaster for coming along and being our main sponsor, and to G-Portal there as well for providing the servers. It's appreciated and great to have you both on board.
Yes, indeed. The support is invaluable, isn't it? It's really helpful. It just kind of takes the pressure off us having to get everything set up. So yes, thanks to those guys, and a huge thank you again to our referee, organizer, event director. He wears about 9 hats in the background, and he runs around like a headless chicken, making sure everything's organised. So it looks as slick as we can get it up front. So hats off to you, Hamish. You've done a stunning job again. And I suppose to Mark Haythornthwaite as well for that fantastic addition, the little timer in the top corner. And I know, like you said before, Args, at the back end of that is making Hamish's job a lot easier when it comes to totting up the scores and things like that. So
that's right. Yeah, no, the turnaround between scores and everything's been a lot faster, and yeah.
Yes, indeed.
No, I think we're getting closer to a well-oiled machine, and hope everyone's enjoying it still. The feedback and comments we've had so far have been great, so keep it coming, and yeah. Looking forward to round number 3, which will be coming to us on, I think it's April Fool's Day, isn't it?
It is indeed April Fool's Day. So, yeah, we better...
I can imagine Hamish will come through with something really rough and tough against the guys.
That's right. And we will... there will definitely, I think it's fair to say, Args, there'll definitely be some giveaways of some Thrustmaster joysticks in the next round. We're going to make sure that's definitely a thing. So, stay tuned for that one.
Yep, no, we were, and it might be something to do as a follow-up to the round we talked about, potentially having a clip it competition.
That's right.
Clip your favourite moment during the stream, share it in Discord, and we'll go through those at the end and put together pick our favourite clip that came out of it, and that could be a prize. So keep an eye out for that. We'll figure out what we're going to do and how we'll run it. But yeah,
yes,
looking
indeed.
forward to giving those opportunities to you all, and thank you again to Thrustmaster for providing those opportunities.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, Args, thanks to you as well. Thanks for the commentary. That was really good fun. I'll see you in a few hours for recording of Hannah and Deanna.
Yes, that'll be good to get back to that. It's been a couple of weeks.
It will. But to everybody in chat and everybody that's taken the time to stay and watch us, thank you very much. We appreciate it. This is nothing without you guys supporting us and watching, so thank you very much. Thanks to all the teams as well for everything they've done and given us some real enjoyment. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking forward, like I said, round 3. Keep an eye out for it. We'll keep an eye out for the highlights package in between as well. Right. And relive all your favourite moments from today. But
yes, indeed.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Args.
Chop, chop.
We'll see you again.
Have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you later. Bye.
Go, 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 go!
Off and moving here.
And Taylor has made the first cut, very closely followed by Digger. I'm basically seeing a very fast start from Digger and Hillboys, but there's a lot to play for still, and a lot of time to go.
Look at this, we've got a loader on its side.
He may have to reset this if he can't write it. GTR is lining things up. The guys can get this in, they are going to be in prime position. But look at that, a bit of teamwork there. GTR just reversing ever so slightly to help Hillboys get those into the truck. That's a genius strategy.
They actually have a good amount of trees there ready to load. I'll tell you what, this is unbelievably close. And he's honking. I think he is on his way out. But we're just getting the console team coming in now to throw the container. Farmer Hamish is on his way in. He's running straight down the train tracks. No care at all for his well-being.
Switched on.
Turned on.
He might be turned on by logging. Don't judge me.
You never know. Got wood.
Yeah, got wood.
Yeah, no, he's pretty switched on. So I don't know. He might have used it. Oh, but that's yeah. What are we